Well, this is the news. And Fizzle walked in, and but there's a big coincidence, isn't it? Because Fizzle's the one that requested the dwarves. Well, he didn't actually request them, but did say that they would love to see dwarves in the game. So look what's happened. If you follow us on Twitter or on Discord, you probably saw this news. But I was very curious, because I didn't think there was any assets for dwarves online, but turns out there is. And I edited the sprite myself. I made him a little smaller. Didn't use the children assets, because I did look at the child assets and I thought, they don't look very buff. They were like tiny body. So I literally just got a normal human sprite and just like made them shorter by about 6 pixels, and it's perfect. Perfect beard, perfect everything. Even slightly larger ears as well compared to the humans. Lurking on mute. Hi Elite. Even though you can't hear me. I ruined your news, I'm sorry. No, I'm glad you walked in. It was what a coincidence. I was literally going to mention it and then you were there. Hope you're having a good day, Fizzle. Ruined your news. Yeah, I was excited. Yeah, right. I messaged Charlie and I was like, you gotta tell Fizzle this. Basically just need Gimli from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so it's there as an option for anybody that gets the 500 raindrops to become a dwarf in the game. And generally there'll probably be NPCs that will be dwarves in the game too. There'll no doubt be a faction of dwarves that will be made at some point. We've had a few little ideas and talks about how that could work. And I think 8 races is a good number. 8's a better number than 7, isn't it? 7's one of those weird odd numbers. I think it rounds things up nicely. Got a good diverse bunch of races here. Yay! Oh, made up of 3 raindrops. Well, you'll get there, Fizz. I believe in you. And geez, you're getting there pretty fast too. GG. So that's the news I just wanted to let you guys know about, just in case anybody missed it. Yeah, I'm excited. And there was even a beard emo on Twitter as well. I wondered whether that was just a woman with long hair at first, but it is actually a beard emote. Happy Monday. Hi Keena, how are you doing today? It's lovely to see you. Well, that's not going to help me build up in the game. I'm sad. Well, yeah, there is a little bit of a grind involved, but surprisingly it isn't as hard as people expect it to be. For example, Elite here in chat right now, he's only been in the stream for how long, Elite? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? You've already hit the 500 raindrops. His is a pro lurk, that's why. Love the races so far, doing great, thanks. Glad to hear it, Keena. That's wonderful. I like the little symbol by your name, by the way. What's that all about? I'm curious. I haven't seen that one before. Can we earn raindrops by any other means? Nope. Just from larking. You do get double if you're a sub, so you'll have to have your fingers crossed that you'll be here if you ever are gifted one day, I guess. But it's not as bad as it seems. I mean, the whole purpose of having people hit 500 raindrops is so that there's like something to work towards, and I suppose by that point you're considered a regular of the community, and we don't get overloaded with too much cast either, so because it would be pretty overwhelming if we had to make a character for every single new person in the stream. But yeah, I mean, in the future we might make it cost more or lower it depending on competition or how often people become characters, but at the moment I think 500's a good amount. Hi Rod, how are you doing today? It's good to see you. Staying warm. Yeah, it's not too bad today actually. We've got heating on in the house, so I've got this shirt on, but I've got an inset bite. It's pink on my neck, so I haven't got my choker on. Yay, thank you Elite for letting us know. I appreciate you. Wherever True, I bet that would give some subs. We got quite a lot of gift subs last month. Last month was a good month for us here. But at the same time, nobody's expected to gift. It's purely if you want to. If you want to support the stream and help grow the community and reward viewers for and give them some emotes and some double raindrops, but it's never forced upon anybody. I've got a bit of a cold coming. I will sub at some point. I'm a little low on the funds. I've hit that point. Oh, well, I appreciate you, Fizz. That's very kind of you. But yeah, don't worry. Even people who aren't subbed will get those 500 raindrops eventually. It just takes a little longer. A little bit longer, but it's not impossible. It used to be a lot harder to get to be a coach in the game. You had to originally be in the stream for 120 hours back in the day when we first did this project. And I eventually reduced it because I wanted new people to feel like they wasn't completely excluded and that it wasn't too much of a big mountain to climb. So yeah, I did change things up a bit. They mentioned it on Thursday. Yay. That's such a fun idea. Oh, Overwatch League Pass. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen that symbol on Twitch before. It's a pretty one. It looks like a pretty blue flower from a distance. But I see now it's actually just a person with a gun. I'm most likely to be lurking today if Charlie decides she's going to do a stream thing. I'm mad, so going to be making sure. Oh, of course, Fizzle. No problem at all. Totally understand the mod commitments. It's one of those jobs. I'm a modding in a stream as well, so I know what it's like. Good deal overall. Hi Neffel, how are you doing today? It's lovely to see you. I'm sorry, I think I missed some streams, but I'm back. Yeah, it's lovely to see you. And guys, if you ever do miss streams and you love seeing what we did and you don't want to miss out on what we potentially worked on, then we do have all the VODs of Raindrop Chronicles up on YouTube. I upload them. I try and keep on track with the uploads. We do have them on Twitch as well though, but I prefer watching videos on YouTube. Okay guys, so as you can see we got this news. This is really the only news I can give you this week because I was a busy bee this weekend going out for once, but it's probably going to be the only time I ever go out for weeks. And ooh, thank you very much for the retweets, Keena, you sweet person. I appreciate you. Okay, so we got the closed captions on, huzzah. And yeah, as you can see, this is one of our character forms. We've got the dwarf added here. I've added them for all of them. One's playable character, minor NPC and major NPC. So, all done. I'm very glad we've got them in the game now. Hi Val, how you doing? Feeling sick, gonna lurk a while? Oh no, I hope you get better soon. Thank you for the lurk though, Val. We got some returning people here. Yeah, it's lovely to see. It's lovely to see old peoples, new peoples, and people that return. I love you all. Appreciate you all. So now we got that news over and done with. I'll probably mention the dwarves throughout the stream still because I'll be excited and I want people to know. Because we got that over and done with, we can have a little peek at what we was doing last week. We spent most of last week working on what we have here. I've now got every single skill that's been mentioned by the community put into our boxes. We got one for warrior, one for hunter and one for vampire. There's a lot for hunter, as you can see. There was a lot suggested. And I've labelled them as well based on the build. So basically, I'm not going to get too caught up in all these skills here because I'll get overwhelmed for a start. I'll be like, holy crap, loads of skills to start to understand. And I'll be honest, some of them I'm a little bit confused by, mainly the vampire ones. And that's because I'm one of these people that when I read descriptions, I don't immediately grasp it. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I know I am. I know when I play MMOs or RPGs in general and I read skill descriptions, I'm like, what's that do? And I actually have to see the skill in action before I understand what it does. So, yes, that's going to be a problem for me. Maybe I'll have to ask chat or ask Storm Eagle when he stops by if he can clarify it for me. But what I'm going to do is I am going to let you guys see this. So if anybody wants to have a peep or give any feedback or thoughts on any of these skills or anything in general, I'm going to give you a link to view in chat. I'm actually going to make it a command on the bot as well, because I mean, I know you can see it on stream. We have it up most of the stream anyway, but it's good that it doesn't show all of it, and you guys might want to see something specifically on here. And another thing is I'm probably going to start a second one today for the enemy skills, because I really want to start thinking about those too. And you guys won't be able to see this while we have that one up. So yes, let's make a link and a bot command for this. Right, so how does it work? Shareable link. It's a bit of a long one though. Can we go on a site and shorten it maybe? So, one sec. Bitly.com is one I use. So let's see if that works. That will take us there. Text looks pixelated. I hope it's not going to look like that for you guys, because that's lame. Although I think it'll let you open it with that, or maybe even download it. But for some reason, like if I zoom in here, it's like this is the furthest I can zoom in. It's super pixelated. Let me know, guys, if it looks like that for you too. Because that's silly. That's very silly. I want you guys to be able to see it properly. Okay. What are we going to do about that? I don't think there's any other way to do it. We got the share, but I think that's just definitely the easiest way to share a link. But yeah, it seems like it's forced to be able to see it properly. It's going to force us to download that. You can't right click it and view the image either. Can download the XML and load it up in Draw.io. I have no idea. I'm no pro at this. So yeah, if anybody's got an idea, something that's easy, because the shareable link thing seemed very straightforward, and I could link it up to my bot easy then, and just then do the command in chat now and again so everybody can get the link. Well, yeah, I hoped it would be fine. I mean, you're gonna have to download it, I'm afraid, guys. I'll link it up anyway. I'll do a command now. If you download it, it'll probably show in full quality then. But the problem is, it would have been really nice to be able to view it as it updates, I think, for sure. Especially because we're going to be making a lot of changes. We could... More. What else do we have here? I mean, I would have it on that. Anyone with the link can edit, but I think that's a bit risky because peeps might come in and actually change it. And we don't want that. I would love people to be able to see a real-time link of it though, for sure. Be able to go in and edit. Well, not edit, but see it being edited. A bit like how Google Docs works. Hi Robson, how are you doing today? That's not a good idea. No, not at all. Yeah, we'll just get people changing everything. And I trust a few of you here, but you know, if anybody's lurking, it could be dangerous. Could get trolls changing stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna just put that link in for now, and you guys can let me know if it's crappy quality. And if it might update in real time, I don't even know, but well, that's what we'll have to test. So player skills. Click here to see player skills so far. Good night, don't forget to get stuff done when you stop in and say hi and check out your work. Thank you, Rod. Hope you have a warm evening and rest tonight. Yeah, you too, Rod. I hope you had a good Halloween. And watch some scary movies. I watched a scary movie on Saturday. Forgot what it was called though. It wasn't actually scary, but it was a little bit like disturbing, psychologically more than spooky. Hi Kung, how are you doing today? It's lovely to see you. Hope you're having a good day. So I've got a command here. Click here to see the player skills so far, and it should take you to this here. Well, it'll take you to this, and yeah, it's pixelated, so you're not going to be able to see it. It's probably the same for you guys, so it might make you open it in Draw. The best thing to do is probably do that or download it. So yeah, you'll have to either click that to see it properly or download it. But I think if you open it with Draw.io, it's better because you'll see it in real time. And that's what we want really, for you guys to see in real time as we edit it. So I've done that just so you can read what you like, guys, because sometimes we focus on a certain section of the doc and then you can't see the rest of it. So if you're curious and you want to see all of it and want to have a peep, then just click on that link and have a little look. Basically, I want to kind of put a goal down just so we know. Our main goal is to is this. I'll do it now because I kind of made this point in the last stream that we don't want to get too overwhelmed with the skill tree. So what we're going to do is focus on the first 4 skills for each of these 3 classes at first, and I'll be making the first 12 skills, and I'm not going to go any further in that until we get past the Everbloom Forest section of the game, because otherwise we'll have far too much to just, if we start spending too much time on skills. I definitely think we'll do it bit by bit. If you want a good one, watch The Conjuring. Oh, what's that about? I'm good, how are you? I'm getting good, Kung. I'm a bit of a sleepy one today because I had a busy weekend. I was so tired yesterday. Actually, I had an earlier night than usual. Hi, Juice, how are you doing today? It's good to see you. Have you had a good weekend, Juice? So the goal... And I don't know where to put this, because if I put it there, it's in the way. Oh, yeah. Sometimes arrows randomly appear. Decide they want to appear. One thing we could do is just move that down a touch. Wow, I don't know if it's even going to fit there. Or we could squish it, make the box a little bit more squishy, but deciding it doesn't want to do that. Or we could just make the text smaller, I guess. I wanted it to be big because I wanted that bit to stand out really, but never mind. That could work. But we could do with moving this a little bit. It's in the way. I'll do. It's been a little bit messy, but it's fine. Vampire's a bit far away. Okay, well, we fit the goal inside. First 4 skills for Warrior, Hunter, and Vampire. Every single skill. The guys in chat, Akira, Storm Eagle, and Kung mentioned, I've put somewhere in these boxes for each of the classes, and some of them, a lot of them I don't understand yet, but we'll slowly look at them over time. And we've kind of got the first 4 skills for Warrior sorted, but we haven't for Hunter and vampire. So the first one that goes into this top box is always a generic skill that could fit into any of the 3 builds, and then after that, that's where we start splitting and specialising. And I guess we need to think of what would suit best out of all these skills here, which one will fit. There's some really good early skills to do. The Conjuring is scary. Is it Kung? I'd be scared, I bet. Hi, Black White Live. How are you doing? I sound like your auntie. Is your auntie from England? Is she from England? I'll remove it more about this scares and the gore. Yeah, I'm not scared by gore. I just don't like it. And I get creeped out. I'm still working on Legion skills. It's getting close to end. Yeah, it's cool, Kira. It's good to have that plan so for when the time comes, it won't be too much work because we all have already planned it all, so that's fantastic. But even with Vampire, Hunter and Warrior, it's really, I like that we're going to just focus on the first 12 for now. 4 for each for the Everbloom Forest, because I think the Everbloom Forest section we're not going to get past this particular part of the skill tree. It's going to cost a certain amount of class points to unlock that, and then that, or this particular row. And then maybe the dungeon after the Everbloom Forest, we can consider doing the 3rd row, and then the 4th after that. And we'll just do it bit by bit, although it will be probably, it's probably going to be a good idea. We did briefly talk about this last time, to have a class, pick one of these classes and do a little rough plan of how a 100% complete skill tree would look, just so that we don't get any nasty surprises, which you can get if you don't plan ahead. So just using one class as a template, as a rough example of how a skill tree will work, will give us a good idea how it will all work and how it will all look. And all the others will eventually follow that same template, and we'll grow it bit by bit over time as we do more dungeons in the game. And because it's episodic anyway, this game, we'll likely have a sort of gate in the way that stops people getting too far. I mean, I don't personally like restricting people from grinding, but I feel like we're going to have to do that just because of the nature of the game. We don't want people at level 15 episode 1. It's put too much work on us as well if we have to think of all the skills up to level 50 for these classes in episode 1 alone, if we want a spring release for it. Oh, who was in the film you watch? The guy from Avatar. You know, the one that played the main character in Avatar, he was in the film. I just forgot the name of the film. It wasn't even a spoopy film, it was more like the psychological thing. It was pretty disturbing though. I didn't like the Avatar, didn't you? I was obsessed with it back in the day. I don't know why, it was just this big thing, wasn't it? Craze. I think I watched it 5 times in a month. But yeah, it is a copy of Pocahontas. And the other characters made me cringe. Yeah. I was a nerd for it. We all have our guilty pleasures. 1 minute. Okay, right. Okay, guys, so you've got that link. I'm going to just do it again. Anyone wants to have a peep? Like I said, I wanted to focus a little bit on enemy skills today too, because I really would like to get those decided, but I still want to consider what could fall into these boxes here for Hunter and Vampire. And then off stream this week, I'm probably going to work on doing all the maths and the formulas for these skills in the database, which I'm a little bit daunted by, because I'm not good at that bit. But I'll feel awesome when I've done it though. I'll be like, yeah, I did it. Looking up options to fit that criteria. Right, so yes, I think we're okay. Well, by the way, these diamonds, if you curious, these stand for the stat nodes. So, because you won't only just be learning skills on the skill tree, but stats it'll be how you increase your stats as well. We were considering abolishing the leveling and experiencing system, because it's a little bit messy to have a leveling and experience system in a game of this nature with so many classes that we're going to meet at so many different parts of the game. So I agree with what Battling Sandwich says. It makes it more abstract to getting rid of that. But obviously we're gonna have progression, but in just a different way. The progression will all be done by the skill tree. Can someone locate my voice for me? It seems to have left me. Oh no! Have you got a bad throat, Val? Hope you get better soon. We're sending you all our hugs. Fractured. That might be the one. Does it say what it was about? Because if you just tell me what it's about, then I'll know for sure if it was that one. But I believe it's a new film, and it was on Netflix. And the guy from Avatar's in it. So that's all I know about. Hi Asriel, how are you doing today? It's so good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Only because it's based on the claims of 2 people who were shown to be shams. Oh no, really? That sucks. I've put a little description as well of our builds that we've got in mind. I still haven't for our tanks, but we have basically got a DPS build, or a tank build and a debuff build for that. And these skills kind of fit quite well. For Hunter, we've got an Archer, which is basically a DPS. Tamer, which is going to be the animal. They can summon animals. So a little bit of a Summoner and Beastmaster with that, but different. Because if we have a Summoner and Beastmaster in the game later on, they will have different animals. But we've kind of planned a wolf, an owl and a fox for Hunter so far. Uses traps and venom to keep foes at distance, and that's like the survivalist person that uses a lot of dots and traps and stuff. And kind of does that and then lets the rest of the party deal at close range, I guess. And Vampire is the interesting one, the most unique. Butcher's kind of DPS. And then we have the Hemomancer and Thaumaturge. And they were very new to me. Because I'm not very, even though I'm a vampire, I'm actually very newbie at vampire stuff. But I have been looking them up. Hemomancer's somebody that kind of draws blood to kind of heal and buff their allies, as far as I'm aware. And I was kind of, I had like, where is this? I had a link up about it and I was reading about it and I thought, that's pretty cool. And Thaumaturge, I believe that they're just a generic kind of blood magic person, but I've kind of made it so they're the destructive one, because if Hemomancer's the one that does all the healing and buffing, it makes sense for this other build to be more of a destructive type of magic person. So I hope that fits. I hope that makes sense. And I was having a little look at the clans in Vampire the Masquerade, and this one, because some of them aren't going to fit and others will, and I'll talk about that in a sec, because we're kind of using this game as our inspiration for our vampire class. I think it's a good one to go for. Batadudu falls in 12 Ghost Hospital to disperse. Yeah, that's the one, Rod. That's the one. It was quite interesting, but it was pretty disturbing. I didn't like the ending though. I hoped it was going to go another way. I had my theory, but no, it didn't go that way. Vampire need to have seduce skill. See, this is another thing I wanted to mention, because there is a particular class, and I think are these the ones, the charismatic ones. And I just want to mention something. We can't really have that kind of build because of what Rose is. Rose is a feral vampire, guys. She can't even speak, so she can't be charismatic or charming, because she's feral. I'll link you guys to Rose's character sheet and you'll understand. But yeah, we're gonna have to have builds that fit with the type of character she is, of course, because it'll be a bit odd otherwise. But this is Rose's character sheet, guys, and if you read about her, She is not a vampire of style or class. She is the opposite. She's very feral. So I was reading that, and although I'm very like, that's pretty cool, being a good manipulator and creatures of beauty and passion, art of socializing, all that, it's pretty cool. Very like upper level vampire sort of thing. That would be great if Rose wasn't feral. But there are quite a lot of others that we've kind of already got. Butcher's perfect. That fits what Rose already is. And the others going to a more magical type of classes, which one's destructive and one's more about healing. And they would fit Rose fine too. I love the idea of having a charismatic kind of class, but we've already got it with our diplomat. If you have a peek here, we have a diplomat in the game. And who else have we got? There's a few interesting creative ones that we could make cool. But I definitely feel out of all of these, diplomat fits the kind of charming, charismatic, persuasive person. And yeah, Rez is our diplomat. She is a confirmed character and class in the game, so she will be crossing paths with us soon in the journey. With that off now, hope you take care. You take care too, Rod. Have an awesome day. And thank you for finding out what the film was for me. Ravnos is another interesting clan, essentially vampire gypsy. We'll have a little peek at them, because I'm curious what it says, but I did click on this one. And this is the most feral and predatory of bit there, animalistic and stuff, and I thought, well, yeah, that one is literally that. So, I don't know if this wiki shows us the sort of skills they have, because it would be cool if we knew, because then we can use some for inspiration for that particular branch. And was there a magical one? I'm sure there's going to be a magical sort of one somewhere. It looked like it was that, judging by the symbol. Oh yeah, this is one. Blood magic called thaumaturgy. Am I even saying that correctly? But yeah, these are the ones that are probably most like this branch here. But maybe they're like that too. I have no idea whether the healers are more destructive. But yeah, it kind of makes sense to split them up. It's in disciplines. Oh, is it? Okay, right, let's have a peek. I don't know where I'm looking here. Here we go. So that's pretty cool. We can always have a look at those for some ideas. But we already have a few. We've got some here. But these are mainly for the Hemomancer. And Storm did these last stream. He listed loads up and I put them in. And some of them I'm not sure what they mean exactly. Drain, Bleed, Rush, they're very straightforward. So is Bloodlust. I think the one I was confused by with this one more. The Crimson one, so I'm going to have to clarify that one. If anyone else understands, then yeah, feel free to explain. But these ones here anyway, the ones I'm a bit confused by, they'd probably be much later in the skill tree anyway, so I wouldn't have to work on those ones now. I can see Drain being the generic one personally. I don't know what you guys think, but it could make sense to put Drain here under the actual Hemomancer one. But I also feel like it fits with Butcher because you have to kind of bite them to get their blood. So I do believe Drain could be the best generic one that we could go for. So I'm very tempted to confirm that as our first skill. Who's in agreement? Timmy's are magical, but tend to use more corruptive magic alchemy. Oh, okay. Would that fall under a sort of thermitage thing? I mean, I know that there's not going to be any alchemy with our vampires because we have an actual alchemist class in the game anyway. No one's taken it yet, but it's there for anyone that wants it. So we'll have much alchemy to explore if anyone does go with that. But yeah, I feel like Drain could be the perfect generic first skill for a vampire. And it's a good one to get early on because you need that vampire very squishy and it needs some form of self-healing, I believe. Even if you do go with that DPS build, you still need that. And no, we're not going to like force anyone under a certain branch. You can go back and get bits of all the specialisms if you wish. If somebody prefers to be a jack of all trades rather than just one, that's fine. I think we would go with that sort of thing. Is there an evil way to beat the game? There will be, but I don't think we call it evil because we're kind of basing the morals on compassion, bravery and wisdom. So you can either gain or lose points in those three. And I suppose anybody that has minus compassion points would be considered evil, I guess, or just an asshole. Sorry, I said the a-hole word. But and same with bravery. You can either be super brave or a coward or somewhere in between. You can be someone really wise and intelligent or someone really who's like dumb. Maybe. So, you know, it's all going to be based on those three traits. You know, either that's kind of how our morality system is going to work. And because like you have the option of pushing the little girl in the lake very early on, that's kind of a bit of a preview about what you can do in Raindrop Chronicles as your character. You get that option to push the character. And I'm glad we went with that. I'm glad that we went with the push in the lake thing. Because at first I was like, oh my god, that's really horrible to push her in the lake. But no, it's great. My sneaky alert was ruined. Hello there, Rose. How you doing, Silent? It's wonderful to see you. I hope you're having a great week. Malevikin were not fit for Rose, but sorry if I'm mispronouncing these words. I'm so bad at these words. What one is that, Azriel? Is that the charismatic one, Azriel? And I do agree, like, if Rose was like one of those upper class badass vampires with a lot of charisma, yeah, but because she's a feral vampire, that's her kind of character development and who she is, we have to kind of consider that and not go too off track and make her this like charismatic seducer when she is not like that. Rose is not like that at all. But like we said, we've got a diplomat in the game, so we do have the option to explore a charismatic kind of class at least. So if anybody is excited about doing that kind of character, it is a confirmed class that we will be working on in the future. Hi Legmog, how are you doing today? I have two options, tax returns or listen to enticing sublime vocals of Rose Rainblood. Oh my god, Legmog, you might be sounding like I'm some sort of amazing angelic singer or something. I can't sing a note in tune. So the best you're going to have to put up with is me talking. Don't stick your tongue out, otherwise a ghost will pull at it. Oh yeah, a ghost emote. Elite's actually got a ghost emote. I'm jelly. I never got that emote. That's what my grandma always used to tell me as a kid when I was making faces. Really? That's horrifying. Silent. Did you get scared? Did she succeed? Did you stop doing it? Hi and H, welcome to the stream. I'm very sorry, but we speak English here. Simply because, well, I don't understand any other language, and the other reason is because we don't know what's being said. Who knows, it could be super mean. Could be saying something mean for all we know. But so yeah, just English here please. But thank you, it's nice to meet you. By the way, I will do cameo of Rose the Vampire in my Aftermath fiction, Death Tears Agency. Will she still be feral? A lot more classy and could talk with Legion. Well, that's very interesting because at the obviously there's such a thing called character arcs, and there's every possibility that our characters will change over time as they go through their character arcs, and who knows what's ahead for Rose as a character. Maybe she will be able to speak in the future, but at the moment in Raindrop Chronicles we don't know, and we have no clue if that is ever going to happen with Rose. So if you wanted to make her a talking character, Akira, you can now, because it's a different, you know, if it's a spin-off or anything that's non-Raindrop Chronicles content, you can kind of, it's like fan fiction. If anybody wants to make Rose speak in fan fiction, of course they can, because it's not canon anyway. But yeah, who knows what lies ahead for Rose. She could become this super classy vampire that seduces everyone by the end of the game, but that would be a shocker if that ever happened, because she's pretty much the opposite of that. Just you talking is enough to make all the woodland critters and birds dance all over the place. You flatter me, like, Mark. Appreciate you. I'm glad you like my voice. Now I ended up losing my tongue. Oh no! Well, at least you can talk to us by typing silent. We're blessed to have you typing to us. Okay, so we're gonna kind of go for Drain as this first skill. If anybody disagrees with me or wants to challenge me, feel free to. If you don't think Drain belongs here as the first skill, I personally think it's a good first skill. Very, very, you know, obvious vampire skill. And Drain will level up, I'm sure. Trouble is, if it does level up, where would it go? That's the question, because it kind of doesn't fit into any specific branch. But it could do. It could be more the Hemomancer, I guess. Out the three, I mean. But it does have a bit of Butcher in it as well. Hi Ghosty, thank you so much for the host. How are you doing today, you lovely human? She could become a rebel vampire with speech. Yeah, if you guys want to do fan fiction or anything like that in your own stories like Akira's doing, don't feel tied in to make the character a certain way, of course. Like, you don't have to stay canon to Raindrop Chronicles. So yeah, feel free to do whatever you want with Rose, Akira. Why do we live in a world where tax returns a thing? I tried anything to be a feral vampire woman right now. I know, right? If only we could be Rose in real life. Rose, not me. Rose in the game. I'd like to quite be Rose in Raindrop Chronicles. That would be an awesome life. I don't know about being locked up in a cage though. Not sure I'd like that. Maybe Rose is already sophisticated, charming, and just hides it from the world. Who knows, Azrael? Maybe there's a lot going on there. There's going to be a lot of twists and turns in Raindrop Chronicles. Characters are going to shock us many times. I'm sure of it. My suggestion for big bad final boss is the HMRC, and the final battle is the player must open Excel and make a huge spreadsheet. Oh my goodness. That is bonkers, like Mark. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with Warrior. I'm fine for now. But guys, I'm going to give you the link in case anybody wants to have a peek at this while we're doing it. If you want to have a little look at the skills we've got. Archer, what would be a good first skill for Archer? Any of these at all? We've got loads to look at here. Ghosty, thank you for the 50 bitties. Oh my goodness. What a cute little unicorn. Appreciate that. Let's have some height for Ghosty, guys. You're now on the board. Number one. Number one of the month. Little spoiler, she will help Legion during chapter 3. She knows where the kidnapped girl, it gives a whole bunch of information about the kidnapper. Awesome, Akira. I'm so glad that Rose is making a cameo. You know what would warm my heart? Like just seeing any kind of fan fiction or, you know, fan art of Raindrop Chronicles characters. I'll be screaming if that ever happens. So I appreciate that, Akira. Yay, thank you for the hype, guys. Okay, so, having a little peek at these. Arrow Rain's a kind of good generic one, but the only problem is it might be a bit OP to have as a first skill with it being AoE, but not necessarily, because we can just make the weapon damage lower to make up for it being AoE. I'll still wait a bit before deciding the Hunter one, because we might want to consider the enemies of the Everbloom Forest and what kind of complements their skills. Because something like if we picked a poison or venom skill for Hunter at this point to learn here, it would pretty much be pointless in the Everbloom Forest, because the enemies in the Everbloom Forest are kind of foresty based enemies that probably would be strong against poison. So I feel like, yeah, we probably wouldn't go with a poison skill, but the poison one would be under the survivalist branch anyway if we're going to have it, probably quite early on, probably here actually is the first one. Hunter's Mark. Selected target has decreased defences and evasion. Right, that could be an interesting first skill, maybe. True Shot even could. Normal attack that lowers enemy speed. You know, that wouldn't be too bad. That could work against these kind of enemies. So yeah, I'm definitely up for suggestions for what could be a good first skill for Hunter. People, we have works on contacts. Let's go. Yeah, I want to see fan art of Raindrop Chronicles. I'm stuck with the Gunslinger path for Legion. Did anyone have an idea for a passive skill? Yeah, well, passive skills are interesting because we have a whole bunch of them for Hunter here, and one thing I'm probably going to do is use some of these for the other classes, if I'm honest, because we're not going to need 6 passive skills that are all stat related for Hunter alone, are we? Because what we're probably likely going to do is Hunter's going to be better in probably 2 skills, 2 or 3 at most, not like every single skill, not every single stat. Because at the moment we've got evasion, critical rate, critical damage, agility, look, accuracy, MP, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stats here that Hunter seems to be focusing on, and I'd rather specialise them a bit more than have them be like on everything. So who knows, Gunslinger could steal one of these that's more appropriate for them. What do you reckon? Would you say, I'm not sure about accuracy for Gunslinger, but Eagle Eye could work as well for a gun kind of character, because they have that in common with Archer. They are a range kind of person, so they could definitely use one of these. You could steal one, Akira, because we're not going to use all of these for Hunter for sure. Yeah, critical hits is perfect for the gunner, for sure. That's a good one, Akira. Hi, A Squared, how are you doing today? It's lovely to see you. Hope you're having a good day. I've been working on a 3D pilot episode since 2015. I'm an animator. It's my ultimate dream passion project. The characters are a little light bulb people. Maybe I'll do a light bulb version of Rose as an Easter egg. Oh my god, Legmonk, if you did that, I'd scream. I'd scream in excitement. And anybody that does do fan art, I will tweet it. I'll put it up on the Raindrop RPG Twitter and stuff, so I will have to. That would be frigging awesome. And Legmog, if you ever want to share your work, we do have a creative work channel here in our Discord, so feel free to. I love to see other people's works. Accuracy is already taken care of. Yay! Huzzah! Even if I like WoW, I don't think we should steal too much for it. Hunter's Mark, we could use it, but rename it. Yeah. By the way, guys, these skill names aren't set in stone. They're kind of what Storm Eagle has used but it doesn't mean we have to use all these names for everything. Do you know what I mean? We can change some. If anybody's got a suggestion for another skill name, then I will definitely listen for sure. Because yeah, some of these I'm not. I mean, some of them are awesome, but some of them could be changed. Some of them might be a bit too long, for example. And obviously, if other games have got the same skill name, it's always better to be different and have a different name. So I didn't personally know that was a WoW skill, so it's good to know that, Kung. Right. I know, yeah, that's a really good one, and that's really appropriate for what it does, for sure. That's even a pretty interesting one. What is this? I like the creative ones. But yeah, for sure, these are just like templates at the moment, and nothing's really set in stone. I mean, we have like specific percentages, like 10% here, 5% here, etc. But even these might change if we need to rebalance things. So yeah, nothing's these are kind of just a guide to go with for now. But throughout the episode 1 development, we might make all like balancing alterations or even rename things if we think of something even more awesome. Okay, so I've kind of got Train for the first one for Vampire, Butcher. These are all Hemomancer based ones. These are, although Bleed isn't, and neither is Rush. To be honest, these ones aren't Hemomancer, but these ones all are. So Rush is a gives 1 bonus turn, so that's pretty handy. I'm thinking though, would it have a cooldown on it? Because people could abuse Rush otherwise. Or maybe, yeah, give me your feedback, guys, for sure. But if we was going to have Rush, I feel like it would go in Butcher. Because that's the rage one, the DPS build. Bleed damage for 5 turns. I was looking at Hemomancer, but that's more of a healer rather than the party, rather than doing damage. So Bleed could probably be part of Butcher as well. So what I'm actually going to do, move those across. I'm just going to say Butcher for these, just so I don't get confused and forget. Hunter's Mark could be named It's Mine. That's how I use it in WoW. Let's have a look. That could be cool. Selected target has decreased defences and evasion rate. So it would probably... Yeah, I'm not sure how we do it. Did someone say it would have like a kind of icon or symbol on it to show that that was going to be the targets people knew? I can't remember. We did have a discussion about Hunter's Mark, I'm sure we did though. But yeah, something like that could work, Kong. I don't mind that as a name. What do you guys do? What do the rest of you think, guys? Posted a little sample video of my pilot in the Creative Work section Discord. Check it out when you have a spare minute. Would love feedback. Yay, good job, Negmark. I'll have a little peek after stream for sure. And people check out the Creative Work channel sometimes, so I'm sure it will get noticed. Negmark. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I'm gonna put It's Mine in for now. Because yeah, I'm kind of in agreement, Kung, that we shouldn't steal from other games' names. I just shouldn't assume, I know. And yeah, it's fine, like, because Raindrop Chronicles is a free-to-play game anyway, and a lot of it might be parody. But yeah, at the same time, we don't want to risk getting sued, because apparently we could still get sued, even if it is a free-to-play game. Somebody said that anyway. But my excuse is always going to be, it's a parody. Because we have Colonel Sanders in our game from KFC, but it's called Colonel Blunders instead. He's just a random NPC in Lakefall. And I'll probably put a little sentence at the start of the game saying any resemblance to real life things or whatever is purely a coincidence. Because some games do that. I'm sorry guys for that noise. Making noise with all my stuff at my desk. Give me a moment. Okay. Yeah, I'm still kind of unsure with what we're going to go for with a lot of these. It makes sense to have Bloodlust as well in that one for sure. So I'm not sure if that's Hemoman, so that would be more the thingamajig, the Thaumaturge. So I'll pop that there too. I cannot spell. It's a funny word. There we go. So I'm very tempted to have Rush for Butcher. But I'm worried it's a little bit OP as a skill. Maybe it needs a cooldown. But, you know, we don't have to worry too much because we'll do some battle testing when these skills are put in RPG Maker and we'll see how they're working. If anything does seem a bit flawed, then we can always make adjustments, like we say. We'll probably likely be making adjustments to some of these skills throughout the development process of the first episode anyway. So yeah, this one isn't. Usually we've been using a passive skill. Well, we used a passive skill for warriors left, but Black Branch. But it doesn't have to be the same necessarily. It doesn't have to at all. But we are going to follow a standard template with the skill tree. So yeah, that kind of makes people who have like who are more fond of Leroy Jenkins type of characters will probably want to go for that. I'll be like, yay. I know I would. I'd be more inclined to go for that than the magic-y type ones. But we'll make these appealing too for sure. We've got a lot of choice for which one we could go for Hemomancer, but I really am still a little bit confused with some of these skills, so I'll wait. And some of them look like they're quite OP and could come later. We could have Bloodlust there for the Thaumaturge as the first one. But I feel like we shouldn't actually. I feel like if we're going to have a 15% increase in blood magic, they should at least have learned a blood magic skill first. Because nobody's going to want to learn blood magic stat buff if they've got no blood magic skills to make use of that, if you get what I mean. So if we're going to have that passive Bloodlust, it should probably come here. And that be an actual blood magic skill. I have no idea what blood magic skills would be though. This is another question mark for me, which is why we need to look at things like, I have got a few little tabs up here for blood magic based stuff and vampire builds to give me some ideas, but this might give us some ideas. I don't want to spend all stream on the player skills today, by the way. I do want to talk about the enemy skills as well, so I'll be making a new document in a bit and we'll do the enemy skills too. But yeah, the goal is to, if you look here, decide the first 4 skills for warrior, hunter and vampire. So that is that is, we will be dipping into this dock until we've got those 4 skills decided. Leroy Jenkins, I see you a fellow internet boomer. Yep. Well, I never, like, Leroy Jenkins is a WoW meme, isn't he? A World of Warcraft meme. And I never really played WoW, I have to admit. I played it for a bit, but not like some people. Who doesn't know Leroy Jenkins? It's pretty famous, isn't it? I always say I'm a bit like Leroy Jenkins, because to be honest, when I play video games, I'm very similar to that. I go all out killing things. I'm not a patient gamer. Forged in the fires of It's Over 9,000 badger. Oh my god, see, I don't know what that means. I thought I was going to impress you there, Legmog, but nope. I'm a noob. I'm a noob with memes and culture. I'll admit it. And guys, I'm going to remind you again, because we got some peeps in the stream that weren't here earlier. We do have a new race in Raindrop Chronicles. So I want you all to know about that, in case you haven't seen it on the Twitter. Okay. I'm going to have a little peek at this, see if we can get inspired by some blood magic. Wow. Some of these are very much what the Hemomancer might have as well. But I've got it set up so our Thaumaturge would be more destructive rather than the healer. This one's the healer in the middle. Wow, some of these are pretty violent, you know. Imagine if, like, we really go all out with the animations for these. Our Raindrop Chronicles will no longer be PG-13. You don't remember the name? Kungan now, because Kung is a World of Warcraft fan. I wonder if my insect bite has disappeared now. I think it has. I've got vampire insects in my house. Some of these look like they would be really, really like endgame now. But we definitely need like a very like early level blood magic skill to fall here for sure. And we can use one of these for here, but I'm just not sure which one yet. But for now, I think because I'm a little bit at a point where I'm not sure what to fill in here yet, I'm probably going to give the playable character skills a little break for now. It's all saved, I think. But obviously feel free to suggest things, guys, if you have a good idea of what could work as our early skills. But I'm going to try and think as soon as possible I'm going to try and fill up these boxes, these 4 for these 3 classes as soon as possible, because we really want to get them working in RPG Maker and get some battle tests done, see how they work, and then build them on the skill tree too. That would be pretty cool. And but enemies are also going to be something super important to consider. So what I'm going to do, what should we call it? Enemy skills. Because if we do the enemy skills now, it might inspire us for what would work as a good first skill for the hunter. Get rid of this grid though. Don't like it. And I will definitely use a darker colour for the background, because I don't want to blind your eyes, chat. It's a Do we use that one? Is that the same colour? No, I think it's a touch darker. Yeah, that's the one we use. So we've got a new dock now for enemy skills, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to transfer these over and we'll start thinking of some skills. Every enemy has 3 skills, but the bosses will probably have 5 skills, maybe 6. Volume on now. Welcome back, Elite. How are you doing? I'm going off the player's skill document now, but I'm going to put this here, player skills, just in case anyone wants to have a little peek, because you won't be able to see it for a bit because we're moving on to enemy skills now. Only the Everbloom Forest enemies though, of course, because we don't have any other enemies yet, so who else would it be? Right, let's make it big. Okay, if we copy this, will it paste into the document? Probably not. Nope. Looks like we'll have to upload the images the slow way. I haven't uploaded an image here before, I don't think so. I'm actually not sure how to do this. It will allow us upload images, I hope, in this piece of software. Better. Embed image, maybe that's it. No, it isn't. If I import, it'll probably make a whole new document. Damn, I'm a noob at this. Still, it's a great piece of software. It's great for doing like flyers. Just don't know how to upload images at all. Very confused. And we need to have the images, otherwise you're not going to know what our enemies look like. That would be bad. Right, I'm going to give a little Google, because I ain't going to know by looking in this. Draw IO. Upload image. It'd be really cool if it just copied and pasted it. Hey Daz, how you doing today? It's lovely to see you, and Doki Doki, thank you for that follow. Is it Doki Doki or Doki Doki? There's a video game called Doki Doki. Doki Doki Literature Club. It's a very scary game. Drag and drop images in the You can simply drag and drop images from a local file system or from a browser window into your diagram as far as really. Well, that's pretty cool if it lets us do this. Right guys, apparently you can just drag images from your computer into here. Let's see if that works. I need to remind myself where I put the monsters. I should have a folder somewhere with all the monster images we're using. Here it is. So, first one is... Oh my goodness, Stu, thank you for that raid. I appreciate that. How are you doing? Thank you again for bringing your community over. Welcome, guys. Let's give a shout out to Stu. Let's see what he was doing today. Oh, you were doing Grand Theft Auto. How did that go? Tell us about your stream. Been a minute, but we're back. Yay! How are you guys doing? Welcome, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and bringing your peoples over. It's Doki like, it's Pocky, but I'm less chocolatey. Is it pronounced Pocky? Oh my goodness, I'm a noob, Doki. I assume it's Doki, right? I think I'm right there, but correct me if I'm wrong. I code in JS and ran my own game mode for a framework called Alt-V. That's about it. That's really cool. So you do stuff for Grand Theft Auto. I think I remember you saying that you did that last time. That's pretty cool. Rocky, Docky, Pocky, all the same. Oh, awesome. We don't have those chocolates in the UK, I don't believe. Sad. But we do have lots of nice things in the UK, chocolate-wise. We have Galaxy chocolate. That's a very good chocolate. Welcome to the stream, Docky, and everybody from Stu's community. So I'm going to leave you with a command so you can read more about the project if you are new here and if you're curious what we're working on. Last week, we've been focusing on a lot of the skill-based stuff. We've been laying out some skill trees for our very early classes in the game. And we've got a box here for each of them and just stuffed some skills inside. We got a lot of ideas. And we're just building the very, very start, the skill tree basically, for the first 3 classes. But we're moving on to the enemy skills now, because we have 7 enemies in the Everbloom Forest that we have to give some skills to. We don't want to have it as just a boring attack and kill kind of battle system. We at least want to have some thought put into it. So we're going to try and make them awesome. So let's see if this works. Apparently in this app you can just drag and drop, but I believe that's a lie. It seemed too good to be true. It works. My dreams have come true. Draw.io. You are my favourite thing ever. Best thing in the world. I recommend this to everybody now. This is too good. I've spent the last 20 minutes figuring out how to add an image to this, and it literally, all you have to do is like drag and drop. I use Draw.io to do diagram and some AA games I worked on. It's pretty good, and they do good. Yeah, I'm very impressed, I have to say. We've done some, it's really good for flows, and we also did like some of our dialogue in here. I'm going to show you now, just give you guys a little peep, because we've been writing up our dialogue trees in here too, because we have a lot of branching paths in our game. We have like a moral system in place, and you can gain like compassion, bravery or wisdom, or lose it depending on things you say. So for that reason, I wanted a flow software to do the dialogue, and this was perfect for it. It got suggested, I think it was Azrael who suggested it, and I've been using it ever since for things. It's super good, super good. Have you completed any RPG Maker projects before? Well, I've always dabbled in RPG Maker ever since like I was 12 years old. RPG Maker 2000 was my first one, and I did lots of crappy games when I was a kid, but in recent years now, this is my first attempt of doing another project in it. But this time it's like a super committed passion project, and I have a domain ready and everything, so I'm gonna leave you guys with that. We've got a website coming soon, so superprofessionalandall.com. I wanted a good one. I wanted a website that looked professional and cool, so we got Raindrop RPG. That's the same as our Twitter name as well, and Instagram, we're on there too. And some point in November, sometime this month, I'm hopefully going to do the full launch. It's something I don't want to rush, because I really want to make sure it looks amazing and the best it can possibly be. So I'm going to spend time working on it over the next few weeks, and we'll get it. I'll be posting an announcement when it's up and running. Great, wishing you luck with it. Thank you, Docky. I appreciate it. Super appreciate it. And that's really cool. What games did you work on? I'm super curious. let us know. Tell us about yourself. Okay, so I'm going to drag our enemies in here first, because we have 7 of them in the Everbloom Forest. This is our first one. We are using assets by... I really need to find their name, so if someone asks I can get a command up and link people to it. But they're a very popular artist that do battle character graphics within the RPG Maker community, and I kind of want us to consistently stick to them for our assets for the battle graphics for consistency. They have a lot. They even have a Patreon, so they're still active and regularly uploading things, which is always very promising. And where's the next one? Mushroom is our other enemy. I can't seem to find the mushroom. It's hiding from me. Or I'm probably just blind, but it actually looks like it's not here. So we do have a tray. So I'm going to just pop that in because that is one we do have. We also have the deer. Where's Stumpy? We also have Stumpy as well. He's a cutie pie. And the other one is a white flower, a bee, and the mushroom. Those guys are hiding from us. They're not in this folder. Jurassic Park Evolution, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Thrillville, Planet Coaster, and some others. Oh, that's awesome. Are they from? They're all from the same company, aren't they, that work on those games? Ah, Elite! You are continuing the gifts that you got from True Baldy. Thank you very much. Let's have some hype. Appreciate that, Elite. Let's see the hype. Oh my goodness me. 300 bits. You've caught me ghosty on that bit board now, Elite. You're number 1 again. You also have a new Final Fantasy bit badge. Mug is celebrating this because he appreciates it too. Let's have some hype. Thank you for those bits. Appreciate it. And I think that badge suits you. You're a lady now, Elite. She's very iconic though, isn't she? Got the Terror badge now, yay! And I do believe that you can. I know that it's got the 1-bit leader badge at the moment on your name, but I do believe you can switch it back to the normal bit badge if you wish. I think it's an option in the settings. I'm sure it is. I'm sure Twitch allows people to do that if they wish. Thank you for the hype, Kung, as well. That's an awesome flowers, by the way. Really like the flower detailing. I do too. That's why I got it, because it's got the flowers on there. I'm a bit of a lover of floral stuff. I also like stripes as well, because this has got stripes on it too. Okay, for some reason the bee, the flower and the mushroom aren't in this folder, which is very unusual. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go in the Raindrop Chronicles folder to find them. And I do have a quick access thing set up for that, otherwise it would take me millions of years to get the folder. It's very strange how they're not around. No, I'm looking now and they're not even in here. How dare you? Oh, maybe they're in SV enemies. Maybe that's why. There we go. We've got them. There's our white flower. Our bee and our mushroom. Finally. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just spread these guys out. I'm going to put them there in order of appearance. The tree's the last one we encounter. Okay, so he can feel that. Oh no, don't get big. Now I think the deer's next, then it's Stumpy, and then it's the tree. Just in case you don't know, guys, Rose joins the party at the point we meet these three. So these will have to be slightly tougher and balanced for a party of 2, whereas these will be balanced for just a party of 1. So I might actually put a note of that, just so everybody knows. I'm going to just copy and paste that so we can get the same font. Oh no. I wonder why it's done this. It's made the box go weird. Like it's high up, but it's down there for some reason. Vish. I hope I've said your name right. I've been saying that a lot lately with new people. I'm like, I hope I pronounced your name right. Welcome to the stream, Vish. If I've said your name wrong, then feel free to correct me. It's good to meet you. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. So this text is a tiny bit big. I don't think I want it to be that big. So I'm just putting that there. Maybe we should have it all on one line as well. Nah. Why has it changed the font like that? Because that's a silly. Should stay the same. So what is it? Helvetic? No, Tahoma. That's it. Can't remember the blue we actually used. I think that was it. So yes, party of 1 for these particular enemies, and this, it changes here to a party of 2. So it'll be the custom hero and Rose, who is a vampire. Move these down a touch, and I've just put that so people know, because then someone might be curious how many are going to be in battle against these enemies when we encounter them. Also, I'm going to have to move these down lower because we won't have room to put the skills. Okay. So, as I said, I'm not sure if you know, but we've already planned the toxic plant and the mushroom. So, it's just doing the others, really. If I copy and paste, will that work? Yeah, I've just got to change the text. Yee, Terror Badge is default. Yeah, I'm glad it actually works. That's awesome. Because some people do prefer having the badge there rather than, you know, the bit badge. It's all just a preference, I guess, isn't it? I'm happy you got the Terror Badge. Loads of peeps have the Sephiroth and the Cloud one. But they definitely get a bit rarer in the stream the higher they go up. Okay, so that's probably a little bit too big. The problem is I don't like how I can't resize this box. I'm actually going to make a new box. For some reason when I copy and paste it does this weird thing to the boxes where I can't resize them. Hey. you go. So yeah, I should be able to resize them now. Or maybe not. I think I have to write in it like by hand to avoid doing that, so it's a little bit of extra work, but maybe it's worth it. So last time we worked on enemy skills was a while ago. I believe it was stream 19, which obviously, as you can see in the title, we're on stream 55 now. So we've come a long way since then. But we briefly wanted to just explore it in stream 19, because at that point we had just started mapping the Everbloom Forest, and we decided what enemies would be here, and we wanted to like briefly discuss them. But now we've finished all the mapping for the Everbloom Forest now, and we've done all the cutscenes and dialogues for the quests, the main quest in that area, and before we can proceed and start the first boss and the next cutscene, we really have to get these enemies finalised. It's our final hurdle, I guess, until we can get further in the game. It's weird how the box, there we go, it's actually a normal size box now. So it's definitely a little bit big. We'll try 24. How will that be? We'll change it to white. I'll bold the name of the skill. Just so it's a little bit easier to read. I actually prefer using colons. Should I number or bullet point these? I probably should. Yeah, that'll do. I figure the gold bit is already on top of the chat, so I might as well use different swag. Oh, by name. Yeah, that makes total sense, Elite, for sure. Appreciate that though. You're number one. Okay, now mushroom. So as if you've read these, you've probably noticed that there's bullet points here. I don't want those. I mean, bullet points are okay to use, but I kind of like numbering them. Just because we've kind of said 3 skills for each enemy will be a good way to go about it. For some reason it's not letting me get rid of the bullet points though. And I'm confuzzled. There. So if I click that, oops, I've got all that stuff up. If I click that, it should get rid of it. I'm still kind of getting used to the software, so I'm a bit of a noob in it. There we go. Yeah, but as I was saying, we don't really want a game to be attack and kill, like senseless attacking and killing without any thought. So these first 2 enemies we've kind of made have a little bit of thinking behind it, and if you do attack them senselessly, these toxic plants, they will use leave me alone if they're the last enemy in the field, and it'll raise their defense, so that'll teach you to not do that. But with the mushrooms, you actually do have to attack them as fast as possible. It works the opposite way with them. Otherwise I'll use fungal fury, which is pretty nasty. But yeah, we've got a poison debuff. Well, it's not really a debuff, is it? A status effect that they can use on the party. And poison's pretty nasty to give early game, like the first enemy, I think. But we're going to make sure there's plenty of those healing items for poison on the field to not frustrate people. But we won't have any other status effects. We won't have sleep or blind or anything like that in this forest because it'd be too much. But in the next dungeon we might. That looks like it's a different font, but I don't think it is. Something just looks different about it. It's my eyes playing tricks on me. Right, so now the flower and the bee. We kind of did have a little brief discussion about them, but nothing was like really decided. We did think the whole absorb light skill would be quite cool for a flower though. We kind of also have it so that we only have enemies that are the same group together in this dungeon at first, but we don't necessarily have to have it that way. We can mix and match. Like for example, we can always have the flowers with the bees if for example they would work together well. We kind of use silhouette sprites on the map, but we can always do it so the flowers and the bees are together as well. Because we have like a flower silhouette and we have a bee silhouette to symbolise what battle you'll be having. So the player will always know what battle they're going into. Right, because I remember somebody saying the bee could, oh no. Pollen puke, that's a really cool name. I like it, but we didn't decide what it does. Well, let's have a look at the bees. Swarm, call ally, slightly weaker, so not too OP. And we do have health bars under our enemies, so the player would see that there was weaker. But when would they use swarm? Anytime, maybe. Also, I'm totally up to your suggestions if anybody has any cool enemy skill ideas. It would be super helpful. For which skill? Well, that's the thing. We don't. There's a lot of unknown things decided about these enemies. I mean, these three here, we don't even have anything planned for them yet. The deer, and the stump, and the big tree. We don't have any skill planned for them. But we're kind of halfway there with the flower and the bee. They're done. I feel like I should put a tick next to them to show that they're done actually. We've even got a tick. Let's have a look. Oh, we do. We have a tick. It's pretty neat. Can we colour it in? Can we colour the tick in so it's a colour? Or is it forever that way? Oh no. I don't think it's Lao's going to colour it in, is it? Because I want a green tick, not a black one. Oh, we've got some green ticks here though. That one's blurry. Pretty, yeah, we'll just use that. We'll use that. So I'm going to just put those there so you guys know they're done. And yeah, we're in progress with the rest. And first round, it's all party of one. And then we have Rose join for for these ones. But it doesn't, we don't really have to consider the fact that there's going to be another character, I guess. I suppose we could, but that'll be more about when we balance the stats, I guess. How about Needle for the enemy buffing skill on the bee? It has a dual meaning of 2 in rage. Oh yeah, let's have a peek. So we have Needle Storm, but I don't know if we should go for that. And it seems a bit OP to have that, especially when we've only got one person in the party. I feel that it's a bit mean to have a 3 times in a row attack when we've only got the custom hero alone here. And especially when some of these enemies up here might have already poisoned him. But if you've got any sense, should have healed yourself from poison. So yeah, I'm kind of unsure about Needle Storm anyway. So we could always use Needle for, like you say, a buffing skill instead. So we got a raised attacker power of allies. That could work. Could we use, would that fit though? Needle for the name of a raised attack thing. I'm just super indecisive with names. I have randomly put some name ideas here though. I like just mixing words together and seeing what we come up with. Maybe Buzz. So yeah, let's see if there's anything that would go with Buzz. Would Buzz be a good first or second word, or do you even think Buzz would be just good on its own? I feel like it could work if it was combined with another word. If it's an attack buff, let's think. I feel like power or fury even, or like things that sound like strong and powerful are always call for attack buffs. Yay, Val! You need it, Val. You've got over the 400 raindrops. Could do Buzz Bomb. Does more damage based on the number of bees on the field. More balanced than just hitting 3 or 4 times, and encourages the player to kill the ads or the summoner. I agree. I think one lesson from, like, every battle should have something that there's something like strat or tactical. You gotta think what you gotta do, and I think having it so that the player's encouraged to kill either the ads or the summoner for something like this could work quite well, because that's what we've kind of done with these two. We've made it so that the player's encouraged to kill the mushrooms as fast as possible, well, one of the mushrooms, so that they don't use fungal fury, and with the plant they're encouraged to not leave an enemy too strong on the field with full HP, so you attack them all a bit at a time rather than kill the one. Thank you, Nair, for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. So we should definitely remove Needle Storm, or at least change what Needle Storm does. Drunk Raccoon. My goodness, what a cool name. Welcome to the stream, Drunk Raccoon. Encourages player to kill the ads or the summoner. Okay, so does more damage based on the number of bees on the field. Right, let's think. So we've got Swarm. So it could just be a normal attack, right? Is that what you mean, Elite? But the strength of that attack would depend on how many are on the field. So just normal attack, but based on how many are on the field. So yeah, like similar to Savage Bite and Mushroom Mash, I guess. But hang on, but power depends on how many bees are in battle. I'm sure it can be shortened more than that, but... Oh, you've even got a raccoon emote. That's fantastic. Oh, that's just a Twitch emote, isn't it? That means I have that one. Let's have a peek. I have it too. Yay. Yeah, precisely. AoE attacks in small damage increments. Oh my goodness. AoE. We will not introduce AoE attacks in the first dungeon. That would be so mean. I kind of want to make it not too hard, but at the same time, having a challenge doesn't hurt either. Right, so normal attack, but right, that definitely. So that means we don't really need an attack buff then, because that kind of is the buff itself, having the calling an ally in the field. Is there any other attack that could be very good, that could work well with these 2 skills we've got? Because I do kind of like to say 3 skills per enemy is kind of the template we go in for. I'm trying to picture the battle in my head now. Crush them and make them cry. That's a cute turtle. I want it. The raising power skill could be drumming drone. Oh, you think that we should still have the raise the attack power thing then? Even though we're going to base the attack on the... We could even have a raised defense, I guess. Because it would make sense to have a raised defense going on, because considering the swarm, the allies that come, are slightly weaker in HP. But that's just a thought. You can call an ally, it raises your attack as you attack with increased power from its appearance. Oh yeah, so you think we could stick to the attack. To be fair, we've got a raised defense with this one, so maybe it's best to not have to have a little bit of difference, not have all the enemies do the same thing. So yeah, maybe we could do that, elite. Right, now I've got to just think how I can word this description. Right, let's see what it says. So drumming drone, we'll go with that. Raise ally attack power. So would that work? Well, that sums that up enough, doesn't it? Let me know if I should alter it at all. Oh, or does it raises the attack power of allies either way? Okay, so okay, I want to make sure I understand this fully, because you call an ally and it raises your attack as you attack for increased power. So you don't mean our allies, do you? You mean the actual B allies? I just want to clarify that. Oh, you mean allies your way? Oh, okay. This is where the problem is then, because we only have a party of 1 when we encounter the bee. So it would kind of be redundant, if you get what I mean. I assumed you meant the actual bees, so I think that's where we got confuzzled. Correct the bees means spelling. Oh no, now I'm confuzzled. Poison. Oh, we do already have a poison drunk raccoon. I can't say that word. Abominable. It's a tongue twister. Yeah, our little toxic plant is poison. So yeah, we're cruel adding poison this early in the game. It's the first enemy we encounter. You need an apostrophe on your wood. Oh, that's why. Yeah. So here. Elite's the master writer of the stream, but I appreciate you correcting me, because we want it to be done properly. There we go. It targets its own allies. Good. I got confuzzled. I thought you actually meant my allies, the allies on our side then, but I'm glad we've clarified it. So the battle would work. I like to put the skills in order based on how they do them, like their priority. So Needle Storm would be first because it's a normal attack. Call Ally Swarm would be second, and Drumming Drone would be the third one, which they'd use once they've called the ally into the battle. That makes sense, right, doesn't it? So, to have it in order. Yay! Where are you from? Your voice reminds me of some of my UK family. I'm from the Midlands. Just like Middle Earth in Lord of the Rings. The Midlands. It makes me sound like a sort of fantasy being when I say I'm from there. But it's not that wonderful, I can promise you. Some people might think it is. But I've lived here all my life, so I suppose it's not a novelty at this point. I'm actually helping a friend edit a giant... I've read that as giant. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with me today? Edit a grant proposal right now. Oh, awesome. Elite, you're a good friend. Okay, so now we've got that for the bees. We can put that in our dock. I don't know why I wrote it in here, because probably could have just gone straight into here, considering this is what we use now. Right, one thing I wish it did was just make the font the same, you know, when I copy and paste it in. I don't mind just writing it up again. But yeah, I definitely wasn't very fond of the 4 attacks in a row thing. I kind of always wanted that change because it just felt way too OP. So yeah, I guess we're kind of sticking now to the every single battle of bees. We won't have mixes and matches at this point, but maybe in other dungeons we will mix and match enemies then. Because these particular battles work well when it's just that particular enemy type. There's more, like you say, there's a synergy there. And if there was a random flower, it wouldn't really work. But yeah, we could always. I wouldn't rule out mixing and matching in the future if we had like a good plan for how enemies could work together. Swarm, call, ally. Yeah, so it's just called Swarm, isn't it? That's correct. Wasn't sure. Oh my god, I put Spawn. Spawn. Oh my brain's mush today. It's Monday. That's my excuse. I'm not spelling correctly. Swarm. Call and lie. I can say calls ally because I'm confused. It makes it sound like swarm call ally is the actual name of the skill. It's not. Calls ally. That's slightly weaker. Okay, and then it was drumming round. Raises. Attack power. So I think we got a good idea for the bees there, guys. Congrats, thanks for helping me. We did it. So yeah, the rule of that battle, I guess, is make sure you kill them fast. That sums it up, I guess. So I get a tick. Done. So now just the flower for this one, and then cutscene happens here, and then Rose joins the party. And we have an extra pie member for these battles, which we had to do, really. We had to change the enemies up at that point, because otherwise they wouldn't be balanced. And these would be super easy to kill with Rose in the party, which isn't a problem. I mean, the enemies will respawn, and if you want to go back to the Everbloom Forest that way, you can always do that if you want to do some extra grinding. It'd be easier, a lot easier to kill when you've got Rose. Close to Wales, yeah. Well, it isn't that close, but it's still a few hours drive. Giant proposal leads to a colossal wedding. ASMR keyboard. Do you like the keyboard noises? I'm glad. Because sometimes I'm paranoid and I think, should I buy a quieter keyboard so people don't get annoyed by the sounds? But I have had a few people say it's like ASMR. So that's encouraging. Okay, so let's have a peep. It'll be so good today, guys, if we get all the enemy skills done. I'll be really pleased. Because that's a really good thing out the way. And for the rest of the week, I really would like to actually put these skills into RPG Maker and do some battle and balancing testing. And just make our battles look really cool and stuff. And then I can start working on the player skills as well and adding them, seeing how they work with these enemies. Because adrenaline is a very kind of generic, cool skill. It raises attack and defense by a little bit for 3 turns. So that'll really help a lot once the player unlocks that. But they won't be able to unlock it immediately. Yeah, it's kind of just the hunter first skill really that we aren't sure about yet, but I'm hoping that working on these enemy skills will help inspire what that first hunter skill could potentially be. I like it, makes me relaxed. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. So well planned. Do you think I'm a good planner? I try my best, what can I say? I try my best, guys. Okay, so here we go. Flower. So far we've got absorb light, which kind of means it absorbs sunlight on their first turn. And it doesn't do anything for that first turn, and it deals damage on the second turn. And I can't remember why we had that as a skill, but I do like it. It's very cool to have a skill that's relevant to what it is, which it's a flower. It does literally absorb sunlight, so I like that. Having them have that first turn as a period where they potentially get stronger, maybe the sunlight can give them a buff, and maybe it's kind of another thing, kill them before they What can pollen puke be? We've got this pollen puke attack here, but we have no idea what it's going to do. But we can think, I assume pollen puke could be a debuff, because I imagine the flower going up to the characters and puking on them. And it would do something like lower their something, maybe. But let's think, we've already got a few debuffs, and it'll be cool to have something different to what we already have, because our mushroom has a lower player speed debuff, so I kind of don't have pollen puke be the same thing. So could lower attack or defense or evasion maybe, but what would work best with pollen? Pollen would like kind of make you really, well, pollen makes me dozy. So I always think sleep, but no, we're not having another status effect, we've already got poison. I like doodling ideas, but it's never this structured. Something to do with roots could be fun. I think I agree, Raccoon, and that's why we have a tree. So I definitely think the tree should be like, have sort of a root or some we can bring that in with them for sure. Because it's a big beast, isn't it? Let's face it, that could do a lot with its roots. Whereas the little flower, it has tiny roots. So I'm excited to think of some skills for them too. Thank you, Drago, for that follow. I appreciate that. Could have sworn you followed last time. Yeah, I was going to say your name's very familiar. I believe you've been to the stream before. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Yeah, and thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a good Monday. Maybe a higher chance to miss. Yeah, like sort of, what would that be? Accuracy? Yeah, because evasion is the opposite to accuracy, isn't it? Hang on, my brain's gone. So we've got lowest player's evasion, which would mean that they would get hit a lot, right? But I'm getting confused now. I'm getting all confused by what stat does which. So lowest player's accuracy, because then they would miss some attacks, which could be cool. I can picture that for sure. Yeah, because I definitely don't want... We got Splort Blast here, so I don't like to have an enemy do the same thing as a previous enemy. I like to mix it up a bit, introduce different things. Pollen makes you distracted, dizzy. Yeah, that does work. So it could kind of work as similar to how blind works, because blind has the same effect, doesn't it? Blind stops you from hitting enemies properly. Pollen Plute could be perfect for a lowering accuracy. And absorbs sunlight in first turn, deals damage on second turn. So it'd be pretty cool if that damage was strong or something. But there's like a bit of a flaw in that. Part of me thinks just have absorb light as a separate thing. Like maybe not force the absorb sunlight on the first turn, make them do it at any time. But it probably does double their attack. But they should also have a normal attack as well. Maybe we should do that instead. Because it'd be cool if the player did experience what their normal attack was like. Because it makes it a bit pointless if their attack doubles anyway. It's like, well, I'm rambling, but I know what I mean. I'm currently strangling my brain. I said strangling my brain in an attempt to come up with a good idea for NaNoWriMo. Oh my goodness, you're doing NaNoWriMo this year. Best of luck. And if you want to share your link to your novel in our creative work channel, you're totally welcome to, because we do have a creative work channel in our Discord. And I encourage people to share all their creative stuff. But feel free to tell us if you have an idea. Oh my god, it's already the 4th of November. Time's running out. But I believe in you. I know you can do it, Drago. I know you can. Okay, so I want this to be a normal attack. I'm kind of thinking don't force absorb sunlight on the first turn, but let them do it at any point. And doubles damage dealt. If you want to like suggest something, like feel free to chat. If you think actually this would be better if it was like that, feel free to challenge me if you wish. I'm just doing things as I would do them, but sometimes people might have another idea or a better idea, and I'm totally up for being challenged, for making something even better. Okay, so I'll say attack damage. I don't think we need to put that. We kind of get that it's sunlight. Better to keep it brief. Sunflower reflects the sun into the eyes of the player to cause damage, like focusing light. That's pretty cool too. Have one passive and one active skill. Then add epic or rare monster for extra skill and more HP. Yeah, we're kind of going through like a template where every mob enemy has 3 skills, and some of them can be passive, of course. maybe, but we kind of have got the free active skills as a thing. But the bosses probably will have more for sure. They'll have an extra skill, either 4 or 5 skills for a boss. But we haven't decided who the boss is going to be yet. This isn't the boss, by the way. I know it looks like a boss, but it's not. This is just kind of the last mob in the Everbloom Forest. One of the stronger one out of all the mobs. And he'll probably be on his own in battle. Maybe there'll be 2 of them. Haven't decided yet. Sunlight regeneration. Describe how that would work, sunlight regeneration. As in, like, it would heal them. Like their health. Demon tree. It is a demon tree, isn't it? But that was interesting as well, Drunk Raccoon. Just trying to think of how. I suppose that could be at work as a normal attack, rather than them actually walking up to the enemy and just punching them. Because the flower doesn't really have hands, does it? So it wouldn't be like a traditional attack. Sunlight regeneration every turn. She regenerates 10% of HP. That's cool too, and the reason I do like that actually is because we haven't got an enemy so far that heals themselves. We already have an enemy that gets stronger attack, the bee, and the mushroom. So having the flower do the same as what the previous mobs have done seems a little bit repetitive, should I say. So I am kind of in agreement that we should probably make the absorb light different. But it could work as a passive, yeah. You imagine that as a passive, don't you? So they don't actually use it as a skill, he would actually do it every turn. I suppose we could put passive in brackets. So do you like sunlight regeneration as a name, or absorb light? Because either could work. Absorb light works the same, doesn't it? And it's a little bit shorter, a little bit more as a skill name. Not that I've got a problem with sunlight regeneration. I found that I have a preference towards shorter names, but that's just my subjective opinion. This would make the player focus on a burst attack combo. Okay, so let's get that written down. Every turn, 10% of HP is regenerated. And forgive me, my typos are terrible today. There we go, finally, I think I've spelled that right. Every turn, 10% of HP is regenerated. So, because that's the passive, I feel like that should be the first one on the list. And we have Pollen Puke, which is lowers players' accuracy, which would be a very frustrating combination, wouldn't it? If the player's missing and they're also regenerating HP. So it is a mean one, but at the same time, I think we should be a little bit mean. As long as we balance it okay and it isn't too OP, we're fine. So this would make a fair focus on a burst attack combo, either works. Okay, so do you think that sort of thing would work as a good third skill? Let me know if you've got what idea you've got in mind. The sunflower's a flower and she fields off the light. So if you attack it with shadow or darkness elements, she gets more damage. That's pretty cool to consider too. I mean, this early stage in the game, we don't have any dark magic attacks because we're very basic. We haven't learned any skills in the skill tree at this point. But it's really cool that we can consider that in the future. I mean, we might have another enchanted forest in the game in the future where that kind of thing could come handy, and by that point we might have a character that uses that kind of magic, and that wouldn't be good. Petal Slice, she shoots out razor sharp petals that damages a random enemy. That's pretty cool. I like using heavy petals because we've got pollen, we've made use of the light, and now make use of the petals. So I love skills that are related to the particular enemy. And we need to also consider loot drops at some point as well. And I could imagine like white petal being a drop from the flower. Who knows what the white petal would do, but it would probably be useful for crafting, because we are going to have crafting in this game. Or petal blades. I like both. Petal slice is short and to the point now, I think, but both could work. For absorb light could be called photosynthesis. It could do. And then have you noticed all the skills start with P then? PPP. They're the P monster. That doesn't mean that they urinate, by the way. Petal slice. Okay, so she shoots out razor sharp petals that damages a random enemy. So that would be like a normal attack then, I take it. It would work as just a traditional kind of normal attack. If so, I'm going to put it second. Okay, so I'm probably not going to word it as a random enemy, because we're not the enemies, we're the good guys. So I'm going to say, what I'm going to just say is normal attack that shoots out razor sharp petals. And that way I'm glad that we've described what the normal attack looks like, because it'll help me come up with a good animation for it, because we kind of do need to consider the animations. At the end of the day, I'm really glad we have that for the flower and not a punch in the face, because it would be really unrealistic if the flower just walked up to the flower and just whacked them. not that wouldn't. So petal slice is perfect. We can have a super awesome kind of petal razor sharp animation. But the mushrooms walk up to the flower and bash them, but that's definitely a little bit more fitting. And we have a bite for the toxic plant. Bud Bomb. Oh, that's a cool name, Weasel, as well. But we're only going to have 3 skills. But we can come up with some awesome skill names for the next 3 enemies, chat. We've got these guys. We've got a deer. We've got a stumpy, cute little tree stump. Don't you think he's adorable? And we got the big guy, who's like, I suppose you could see him as a bit of a mini boss. A little mini boss before the big boss. So we'll work on those. But before we move on to those guys, we'll copy and paste these skills from the petal. And thanks for helping me with this, with the bee and the flower chat. Because they've been on my mind a while. I've been wondering where to take them as enemies, and I think we've got quite a nice diverse range of enemies here, with having one be a bit of a healer, others one hit with poison, and then another be more of a powerful attack buff type of enemy. Well, both of those kind of work as that. So, damn it. I can just copy and paste in here, but it's a bit of a pain in the butt because it does change the font. Oh no. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to write it in here. That's just easier. But from now on, I'm going to just go straight in here and write. I'm not going to use this Word document anymore. In fact, I'm going to close it, I think. Actually, I'm not, because I might get inspired by some skill names, so I'll keep it there. My goodness, my spelling is all over the place. Look how I've spelled passive. Okay, so yep, I'm typing it up again. Every turn 10% of HP is regenerated. Petal slice. PPP. Sounds like the name of a political party. Oh no, the flowers of the new government. Twist in Raindrop Chronicles. Who would have thought it would ended up that way? This game is bonkers enough to end up doing something like that, though. I mean, we have a talking barrel in our game already. Puke is an amazing name though. Who's in agreement there? Can't wait to do an animation for that. Okay, so that's all in. If there's any mistakes, let me know. If I've wrote something down wrong, or if I've misunderstood any of the skills, which I don't think I have. I think I've got it. So because that's done now, we'll put a tick next to them, because so chat can know who's done and who isn't. So I like that we've got this template of 3 skills per enemy, and the flower does work a bit differently because one of those skills is a passive, but that is totally fine. Some of them might be passive, some of them might be active. It doesn't really matter. Imagine that if we did what Drunk said. Fungal Fury sound, does it? Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But yeah, I like Fungal Fury as a name. It sounds really powerful and badass. I like Leave Me Alone now. That is a really good one that was suggested by one of our community members. Leave Me Alone. So if we ever can have a sort of pun name like that, I'd love that. I do love the pun names. I'm just being silly, it's fine. But you know, it's not a problem to have a name that sounds like that. These are enemies after all, so I suppose it fits. Just don't go near them mushrooms, they're bad for you. I'll give you sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, right, on to these last 3. So I'm going to actually just ride straight in here for these. Question mark, we don't know what they are yet, so we'll back mushrooms. Yeah, they're not very cute either. Let's hope nobody has like a thing for mushrooms, because it won't end well. Some people might. I don't shame. If anybody has, that's up to you. The mushrooms went bad. Now we know what Peach keeps wondering about in the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh no. Oh dear. I think Toad from Mario's really cute. I don't like Toad anymore though after seeing that. I'm put off him. Don't like mushrooms anymore. Also, I'm very hungry. So now's the time for chocolates. Anyone want some? I'd give them some to you, chat, if I could. Is it buttocks? You love buttons, they're very good. I'm a fan of any chocolate, to be quite honest, not fussy. Okay, so if anybody wants to has like a good creative skill idea for either of these 3 enemies, let me know. We can work on any of them first. I'm not fussed, we've got to do them all anyway. Things change at this point. We have a second party member join us at this point, by the way, because these four enemies, we only have 1 person in the party. So it is important we balance things a bit and we don't make them too OP, but it's still cool to have to give the player a challenge. But we do have an extra party member at this point, so things will get a little bit tougher. And the vampire, just so you know, it is a vampire that joins the party, and they have the option of learning Drain on their skill tree. I believe we're probably going to go for that one. We might not change that. We might, but we'll likely keep it as Drain. So I think it's a good starter skill that doesn't fall particularly into either of the builds. It's good for all of them. So Drain, if you don't know, it's a self-healing thing. The vampire bites the enemy with their attack, and they will get a bit of healing from that. So I'm curious though, do these have blood? Would vampires be able to drain with trees that don't have blood? How would that work? Because it would with the deer would have blood. But to be honest, you know, cream eggs are so good. They are, aren't they? Some people don't like cream eggs. It shocks me because they're amazing. Looks like something completely different. Yeah, what does it look like? Sap. Sap is also a good idea. So yeah, that is actually something I'm wondering about now, because I do like the game to be realistic. The thing is, drain should be quite... what does it say? What's the description? Deal 70% of weapon damage and heal 5% of the damage dealt. 5% a chance of inflicting sleep. Okay, so... it doesn't say blood. It doesn't say they suck blood with drain. It can, you know, Rose the vampire can have sap too, you know. Would that work? Or is it silly? But, you know, she's got to be able to use drain on these enemies, otherwise it's a useless skill. No, the round things on your snack. Ah! They look like boobies. Now I understand what you mean. I didn't realise that at first. Okay, so sap. Do you mean as a skill from one of these enemies? Sap would be a good skill. Who would have it? Who would have it? Let's think of some. Somebody mentioned roots. Could you imagine the tree having the sort of root thing? I do. Let's have a look. I've wrote some forest inspired skill names here, and we've got root here. So we could have something like, oh, vines as well. Vines, roots, they fit with trees. Root dance, root whip. Root strike, root assault. Vine growth. I'm just saying random words now. Entangle, that's a good one. You thought egg sunny side up, and that was me thinking boobs. It just shows, doesn't it? Think of it more of a drain life force rather than blood. Yeah, that's a good idea, Raccoon, because if we tie ourselves down to blood with our vampire, we're going to limit ourselves, because not every enemy that we're going to face is going to have blood, are they? So I'm kind of thinking the wording of this, we should say draw life force rather than blood. What do you reckon? For something like the Hemomancer, because we're going to encounter a problem if we start calling the trees creatures that have blood. So we might need a more generic kind of description for some of these vampire skills, so that we don't restrict ourselves. But that's something I think we can consider. It's not something to worry about too much. It's literally just wording. Tree McTreeface, entangle. Okay, big tree skills. Tree roar, shout an intimidating roar every 2 turns that stuns an unguarded enemy. Root spike, shoots head spike from underground, damaging the enemy with some type of elemental damage. That sounds like something we should go with, for sure. And entangle could be the third one, because we need 3 skills. But what would entangle do? Entangle could like make the player not move, right? They could like root the player to the spot. That could be another thing. That's how I imagine entangle being. That's like the first thing that comes into my mind. Yeah, like it would work like a paralyze, I guess. Like not an actual, it wouldn't actually be paralyzed, but the way it would work would be like a paralyze. Hi Kermit, how's it going? It's so good to see you. Hope you're having an awesome day. Paralyze effect, because I kind of am reluctant to call it paralyzed or link it to paralyze too much, because I've promised that we won't have too many status effects in the Everbloom Forest. We already have poison, and having another one could be really mean. So it's kind of it could be just a temporary paralyze, if you know what I mean. Like it's similar to paralyze, but not paralyze. Technically, drinking the blood of undead was always seen as poison for the bat vamps. Yeah. Can you code it to stop melee attack? I'm sure there's going to be a way. I'll admit it. Doing skills and making skills work is my weak point because it involves maths and formulas. But I will figure out a way. I managed to do it with these two. I've already made those two work. I've tested the battles. I'll get pro over time. Could just do a basic elemental damage. I'm sick. About to jump in the shower for Doc. Oh, I hope your appointment goes well, Val. But anyway, I hope I have. So, read everything in chat. Oh, the thought of a vampire trying to drink blood from a tree kind of reminds me of trying to drink from an empty can of cola. Yeah, that's funny. But it's got sap. Vampires can have sap. That's a new rule. Vampires have sap. They have... what about rocks? Because we're going to be going in a cave soon. Rocks don't have blood. I guess we could think, would the vampire just be useless against enemies that don't have blood? Maybe we should just have a realism rule where, yeah, sorry, vampire sucks against anything that doesn't have blood. Just don't bring it into battle or accept that it's going to be terrible in battle. You know, we could go for that as like, because let's face it, a lot of enemies don't, like rocks. If we got a Geodude in a cave, for example, well, not literally Geodude, but something similar to Geodude, Rose the vampire would be literally useless, right? All of our lessons today, except the first one, were cancelled, so we got out of school super early, but my helmet for my bike was also stolen, so my mum won't let me use the bike. No! I'm sorry that happened, Kermit. I hope things get better. Think the vamp will be better off drinking maple syrup. Yay, sap. I mean, some enemies, yeah, there's a way around it with things like the trees. Maybe, but we could. I guess this is maybe something I could like ask you guys, put up a poll or something and say, how should we handle the vampire with enemies that don't have blood? Should we just not care? Should we just ignore it and pretend they've got blood? Or should we go for a realism thing and actually make the vampire terrible against them enemies? Because we do have a party. We're going to have like, in the game, we'll have like, you pick who you want in the party sort of thing. But at this point in the game where it's very early on, you're forced to have the vampire with you. But you won't necessarily be forced in the future. You'll get the choice whether you want Rose in the party or not. Or you can replace her with another party member. Finished editing a friend's paper, but now got to set up stream. Busy life. Oh no. Well, I hope it goes awesomely and I hope your game is going really well too. Note to self, set clock back now. I have more time than thought. Oh yeah, you guys had your clocks changed, didn't you? I think more realistic appeals to me. What other skills does the vamp have again? Well, I'll just have a little peek before we add these skills in, guys, for these enemies. Just so you know, we have some builds. We have like a destructive blood magic sort of thing, which it doesn't matter if, you know, there's no blood from enemies for that, because they can just use their own blood, I guess. And same for that. I mean, this description says draws own blood and enemies' blood, but it could just be their own blood. Rose could use her own blood. She doesn't necessarily have to use enemies' blood for that. And that is just a sort of fighter DPS build, that one is. And we've got a few skill ideas, but to be honest, they're all just rough ideas at the moment, and I'm not sure what some of them mean. I've literally just copied and pasted these from community suggestions and Discord, and some of them look really cool, I have to say, but there's a few I'm like wondering what they exactly mean, so I will have to clarify that with the guy that came up with them. But they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. We have like bleed, which is a sort of, you know, a damage over time thing, but you know, that wouldn't work on certain enemies. So I like the realistic approach to cheese. Like, we could have it so literally bleed would only be useful against humanoid or human enemies, or enemies that have blood. Otherwise it won't work, because having bleed on a rock, you know, it's a bit. So certain skills, yeah, vampire might only be good against humanoid enemies or enemies that have blood. And that's something tactical to consider when you form your party in this game, I guess. Don't take the vampire into a cave where there's only rock enemies. Take them into battle where you've got a lot of humanoids. Why not have a van that can suck the essence of creatures? I guess, I mean, we can always go for something like that where we can just have an excuse for how she's able to suck their essence or life force, as we say. But I guess it's whether people will, it's all subjective, isn't it? Some people will be like, well, that makes no sense because she's a vampire, where others can look past it and be like, who cares? Some people like realism, some people don't care much. And I guess it's just figuring out what we're going to go for with this. They suck our blood because that's our essence, but maybe there's other super vamps can suck anything's living essence. Yeah. Maybe the vamp could borrow blood from teammate. Yeah. They can take it from, steal HP from other party members. That's quite interesting to do that as well. They'd be sort of warlock, if you get what I mean, where they take, other people's HP pools to use it for themselves and that to make themselves stronger. Female vampires were akin to succubus. They didn't really need to suck blood to survive. Yeah, but the thing is with Rose's lore, like, she does have a character sheet. If you have a peep at our I'll put Rose's thing into Discord. She is actually a traditional feral vampire, and I kind of want to make sure that we have a realism thing going on because of that. Because we've already said that she is one. But I mean, we can always like Elite says, make it so it's essence or life force. But at the same time, I don't think we'd get away with that with some enemies like rocks. Because do rocks even... Rocks would have a life force if they're sentient, I suppose. You could say that. But they definitely wouldn't have blood or sap or anything. Thank you, Joseph Develops, for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm going to just make sure I've caught up with all of chat. It's easy enough to give enemies a state immunity too. Oh, I know what Succubus are. Incubus used to be one of my favourite bands when I was in college. So, I've got nothing against the word and I know exactly what it means. Even though it's pretty disturbing. What types of folklore did you base her on? Double follow. Thank you, the Chaos, for the follow as well. I appreciate that, guys. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We still have a decent amount of stream time left, so we can discuss these enemies. I know that somebody mentioned the tray. Even though that's way back in chat now, I'm going to go back and try and find those skill suggestions because they were pretty cool. Thank you, Drogo, for those. Drago, I called you Drogo. I had Game of Thrones on my mind then. The good old Khal Drogo. Triple follow, thank you, the real infinite official for follow. No, what a follow. It's lovely to meet all these new peoples, and don't be shy. Feel free to say hi in chat and tell us about yourself if you want to. I followed and now my stream froze. Oh no, give it a refresh. Hopefully it'll fix itself. But welcome, the real infinite. Welcome to the stream. And because we have a few new guys in here, I'm going to give you guys a project command. Feel free to have a little peek, have a read of that. And just so you know, we have a website that's going to be launched in a few weeks. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to make it super awesome. So that's why it's taken a little bit longer to launch. But it'll be well worth it when we've got it. I don't even know how I got here. I think I was recommended on something. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here too. Welcome, Joseph. Joseph, I take it you're a developer. If your name's Joseph Develops. If you were to make Rose as a vampire similar to Romanian's folklore, she'd be considered one of the low-bred, the weakest of them all, since the traditional ones are daywalkers and spawns of Satan. But the first mission any vampire gets upon awakening from the grave, according to folklore, is to hunt down and kill off in most brutal manner possible their entire family. They can't stop this and won't stop till they're all gone. That's really cool, Drago, and Rose is definitely a low-bred. Have I got her character sheet? One sec, chat. Did I copy and paste Rose's character sheet in chat for you to read? Because in case any of you are curious and want to know about her character arc and what sort of vampire she is, have a read of that. Drago's pretty close to what Rose is. She's definitely low-bred. She's not a classy vampire at all. She's very feral. She doesn't even speak like a proper human. She's very animalistic. But the one thing about Rose that's quite interesting as a character is that she can actually resist blood. She stops herself drinking the blood of good people. She has like a strong moral compass, I guess, and she wants to try and fight her feralness, if that makes any sense. So if you read her character sheet, you'll get a basic idea about her. So because of her being a typical feral vampire, yeah, she has blood. That's what we do know. But looking at our plans, she has the option to become more magical and stuff, and that's fine too. I mean, a feral vampire with growth can become more than just a typical butcher. We've gone for the specialism route with our skill trees for all classes anyway, so we had to have this. We had to have different options for what sort of vampire should be, because yeah, all of our classes, where are they now? They're all here. We've got a big list of confirmed and unconfirmed classes in our game. Some of them might not ever be in the game. It all depends if anybody is that particular playable character. If anyone ever signs a form and chooses one of those, then yeah, they'll be in the game. So yeah, the plan is to make a sort of skill tree for each of them when they join the game, and they will all follow like a template of 3 specialist classes. So we have those for the vampire. We've seen that, and I'm gonna let you guys see player skills. I actually have a link to it, so if you want to have a proper look at some of the skills we've got planned, you can. Feel free to give feedback on Discord after the stream, because it's super easy to talk in there as well when there's a lot of ideas involved. Sometimes in chat, especially when it's busy, sometimes things get missed. Does this game have a release date? We're going to be releasing episodically, if you've read the project commands, and the kind of goal at the moment is first half of 2020 for the first episode. We don't have like a official end of the whole game, because it's a long-term project, potentially years long project, so that's why we're having an episodic kind of release, just so we can have it out a bit at a time. It should be more interesting and fun. Just don't make them sparkle in the sun. Oh no, Drago, we're not going for the Twilight thing. Definitely not. Thank you, Elite. Thank you for telling Joseph. It's finally done. Gunslinger class and so class does are done. Yeah, Kira, if you want to post them in the skills, you can feel free to, or even just a link to your doc if you want, if you've popped it in there, however you want, Akira. Yeah, feel free to send it to chat too. I have a game with an episodic plan too. Oh, do you, Joseph? That's awesome. It's a really good way to do a game, I think, personally. Especially if it's quite a long game and it could potentially not be out until years. Have it breaking up into parts is, pardon me, I feel like I'm a burp. Breaking up into parts is a bit less overwhelming, and it gives people a chance to play something reasonably fast. And because this is a community game, I definitely feel like it suits that format. And yeah, it's really good for indie games too. Do you have a demo? Hi there, Kiaz. Not yet. We're probably not going to do a demo simply because we're going to be releasing it episodically. So in a way, episode 1 is sort of like a demo, if you get what I mean. So it would be pretty pointless to do a demo, because I think it would just increase our development time otherwise. So we'll just treat episode 1 as a sort of demo. And yeah, 2020, first half, that's the plan. I'm not doing a demo. You wrote there sentient, think you meant sapient. Even dogs are sentient, able to perceive or feel things according to definition. Yeah, maybe you're right, Drago. Maybe I should have used a different word for that. I guess what I was trying to say is that she does understand people. That's the word that I was trying to express, that she's got an understanding of the human language and she knows exactly what they say. Whereas animals like dogs don't, do they? But you're right, sentient means anything that's alive, doesn't it? That's correct. Demos are for rich companies, lol. Yep. I remember getting demos on magazines. Yeah, and I think demos are cool, but like sometimes they're better if the game, if with an episodic game, yeah, there's probably no point. Able to understand them? Well, probably because I wanted to sum it up with a word, that's why. I don't think most people consider plants sentient. Nah, I don't know. Anything that's well, I think I know, I'm rambling now. Hi Luigi, how are you doing? Well, Luigi does deserve his own game. I guess like people have like, sentience is a funny word because I have heard some people say that they think plants are sentient and other people are like, no, they're not. It's like seems that people have a different definition for it. But anyway, let's go back to our enemies because we could talk about this sort of thing for like literally hours. It's a very philosophical type of debate. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Right, so I have got, let's get the tree skills. I've got some ideas from, I think it was from Drago. So tree roar, shout an intimidating roar every 2 turns that stuns and... Okay. That's pretty cool. So stun, let me just confirm. Stun and paralyse, what's the difference? Remind me, my brain's melted. Because I did have the idea for the root paralyse thing, but if we can have a stun thing anyway, it would be pointless to have both. But we could just call it raw, just to shorten it. And as I'm writing these down, guys, feel free to give suggestions or thoughts or anything that you think could potentially work better. So this is a passive as well then. Like a bit like photosynthesis, it seems, where it does it every... It was every turn for photosynthesis, but every 2 turns for this one. Root spike. Shoot out spike from underground, damaging the enemy with some type of elemental damage. Ooh, what elemental damage? And that's pretty cool. Sounds very OP. Plants have way more. Yeah, nobody knows. It's a mystery, isn't it? Because they can't communicate with us. Who knows? Stun normally don't let you select player action. Paralyze you can use and have chance of not doing anything. Yeah, there's a difference then, but they're probably quite similar, so I'm probably reluctant to have paralyze in the same enemy skill list as one that also does a stun. So we'll just keep it as that one, even though it was pretty cool, the tree root thing. But this also works fine too. So I'm curious about the elemental damage suggestion that was mentioned in chat. I'm trying to imagine what elemental damage the tree would use. Earth seems like elemental damage that would fit for this sort of enemy, and I think it would be quite cool to introduce elemental damage, because we haven't yet with any of our other enemies. So maybe an earth-based AoE, or just a single attack. It doesn't necessarily have to be AoE, but it could be. This is a sort of mini boss. It could be strong enough to do AoE. We have Rose in the party too at this point, so root spikes. See, I'm trying to picture spikes from the ground. I imagine roots, but not spikes. And if we want it to be earth based, I would do AoE. Yeah, let's do an AoE. Let's make it AoE. So let's get the description. So what could it be? Like this earth elemental damage. So we've got roots. It could be just a simple root whip AoE attack. That would be earth. That would be earth element. I'm trying to picture it now. You guys chat might have something in mind that I'm not imagining. Trees could have critter protection. Hi Digi, welcome to the stream. Tell me what you mean with critter protection. How about using this for the last question in the chat? People I encounter often I'm able to understand them, to feel as they feel, as if I'm some sort of mind of school. The truth is that I have just a bit of problem with communicating my thoughts to them. Pale skin, sharp fans, scent of death can usually be distracting for most fact. Yeah, I mean, I generally don't edit the character sheets once they're done. I mean, Akira's character still is gunslinger as their class, and that's recently changed. So, yeah, it's because it's very time consuming to have to keep editing the character sheets. But, before I put them on the website, I might edit them again. So I might just change that description slightly. But I can't keep doing it on a regular basis, because it would be crazy. The more characters we get in the game anyway. We've still only got about 15 so far, so it's okay. But imagine if we had like dozens and dozens. So she's a critter could protect them, a swarm of insects, for example. Yeah, I think that it's going to be on its own in the battle, though. This particular tree, it's a good idea, though. But it's quite OP, you see. So if it had someone else in battle protect, it could be me. I mean, yeah. So it's going to be on its own. Yeah, I like earth elemental damage for sure. Oh my goodness, thank you, the Kiaz, for the sub. I appreciate that. If I said your name right, I appreciate that. Let's have some hype in chat, guys. I want to see that hype. That is very kind of you. And it was Twitch Prime as well. I would like to see the Twitch Prime subs, because it makes me feel special. Thank you. Well, I know the feeling I got used to doing it. I am going to make a note of what you said, though, Drago, because also, just so you know, I did the Rose character sheet ages ago, like about a year ago. She was the first character in the game, and yeah, so it was a long time ago when I did that, before we even started the streams of Raindrop Chronicles. Thank you for the hype, Pete. Okay, so I'm going to say AoE, earth, elemental damage. But I would love to know visually what sort of earth elemental damage it could be. Because when doing animations and things, basically, it's good to have something in mind. But we don't have to think yet, but even just having a peek for RPG Maker might inspire some stuff. Maybe a poison. We have an enemy here that poisoned, and there's no harm with having another enemy poison. Maybe, because this one was the first one in the Everblooming Forest, and it was quite a long, it was at the beginning, so we could, I won't say no to having another enemy have poison, but I'm just worried it could be too OP. Because he's already got an AoE and he's got a stun thing. So it's all about wondering if, because it's going to be quite big, you know, it's going to have a lot of HP, this thing is. It's going to be a bit of a tank as well. It's not going to be a super easy thing to kill. So maybe the other skill we have should be a kind skill. Well, no skills are kind, but you know, one that isn't too bad. One that isn't too OP. I thought a cool name for move would be Family Tree, but just trying to figure out a move for it. Family Tree, he'd bring Stumpy along with him in battle. Because he'd be his family. His little children. But damn, that would be OP. He'd be very OP if he brought the Stumps into battle with him. But it's a cool idea. Okay, so we kind of think of a third skill potentially, but we also need to consider the deer and the little stump as well. Head smash. We could have a normal attack for sure, because generally they've all got a normal attack. This one's got Savage Bite, this one's got Mushroom Mash, this one's got Petal Slice, and this one's got Needle Storm. So maybe, yeah, just give it a normal attack now. It'll break up the AoE a bit, because we won't want them doing AoE every single turn, will we? That'll be way OP. Maybe call Raw Bark, because he's barking at you and he has bark. That's quite funny actually. Who thinks we should do that? Let us know, chat. Vine Whip, or rots that whip 'em. How about we have Vine Whip as the normal attack then? And it would just like whip vines, and that would work as a normal attack. I mean, the Head Smash could have worked, but I suppose we got Mushroom Mash here that kind of was that. And I kind of don't want the enemies to be too repetitive of each other. So it brings in different types of animations and variety. So Vine, we could go for Vine Whip. Normal attack. That whip. Well, yeah, we'll just say normal attack, and I think it's pretty straightforward that it whips vines. And we'll put that one first before the AoE. Like, put them in order of strength. So yeah, just thinking of the name for the Earth Elemental attack and what sort of earth damage it would be, what it would visually look like as an animation. Yeah, definitely call Raw Bark. Brilliant. Yeah, let's go for that then. Bark. He barks like a dog, like a doggo, but it works. He's a doggo tree. We'll have to have a sound effect of a wolf. Was gone for a while. What we doing? We're thinking of some skills for our last 3 enemies of the Everbloom Virus. We've already got these 4 done. So these are just our mob enemies basically in the Everbloom Forest, and we have a boss coming up as well. We will have a boss to consider very soon, but I really want to get the skills put into the game before we think about the boss, and also the player skills as well. Basically the first 4 of each of the first 3 classes. So I don't want to overwhelm myself too much at once by doing too many skills. So for the Everbloom Forest section of the game, just the first 4 skills for each of these classes, and we'll slowly add more. Like, we'll do the 3rd level and 4th level of the skill tree once we get to a new dungeon, probably. Take it a step at a time. Little guy could whip you with a twig, yeah? How much freedom for creating boss battles do you have in RPG Maker? I think it's quite flexible, but I'm very inexperienced with battles in RPG Maker. I'm a lot better with events and cutscenes and more the story side of things. So this is going to be something new for me. I've only dabbled in it briefly when I was younger. So, but we'll do it. We'll get better at time, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun, even though there's maths. But yeah, so we got to think now what these are going to do. And as you can see, this little guy being sort of a miniature, easier version of this one. But he doesn't have to have the same skills. Not necessarily. He can have his own unique skills to him. Yeah, what sort of normal attack would he have? Something with a twig? Whip you with a twig. I mean, this little guy could just bash into you, I suppose. And just maybe numb you, because he's got a mouth. He could bite. Because he definitely will have a normal attack, but it's just considering what that normal attack would be. Let's have a look at some of the skill names to inspire us. Growl. I can imagine that guy growling. But what would Growl do if we did that? And there's a deer. I have no idea where to even go with the deer. I suppose he could use his antlers to do something. Ram. Also, we consider debuffs too. Like we've got... Yeah, I have no clue on where to take the deer. I can't think of anything unique really that stands out about the deer. I think we had added him to the part, well, as a mob in the game because we thought he was cute. So that's why he's there. But yeah, it's a little bit harder to get inspired by ideas with this guy. To stun, he could try and grab onto you. Maybe. I guess it's thinking, because we don't necessarily have to have him have a stun as well. In fact, it'd be pretty cool if we made him unique to the big guy and have a different sort set of abilities. Just because yeah. And it could be a bit OP if we have him stun as well. Stun is a mean one. Very mean. And hi Morpheus, how you doing? It's good to meet you. Hope you're having a good day. Well, if it works, I'm thinking that the tree stub could send out vines out of his mouth that are thorns that poison you. We could do. I think because we discussed having this guy poison, but then we said he'd be too OP to do that because he's already really strong. And even though this one's got poison. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because this one was at the first half, the Everbloom Forest, and I'm all for adding another enemy that does poison in the second half of the Everbloom Forest too. And who seems more likely to poison out of these two? I suppose this guy would. I don't know. But yeah, we could, as Kermit says, it could work like that. Vines that poison. Because with this guy, it was pretty obvious he's a poison. He's a toxic plant, very typical of poison. I'm not sure I imagine these guys being the poison sort of types. Definitely more earth elemental stuff for these ones. Do you know any programming languages? Nope. I'm learning as I go along. RPG Maker uses JavaScript though. Where is it? Program. So if you're curious, if you want to read about it, there's a link here. I'll tell you about it. And also, like, has 10% chance of grabbing you in his mouth and dealing extra damage. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's just Because he's a little guy, so he's definitely going to have to be a lot weaker than his dad. Because for sure, I don't want him to be too AP. And I am kind of, part of me doesn't know if I want to go for the poison thing with him. I don't know. Rabies for the deer, that's cool. That's a cool idea. What would rabies do? Haunting stare. They all have haunting stares, don't they, actually? Every single one of them do. But that would be cool too. I'm just reading what Kermit said. I definitely think the mouth, because he's got the mouth, I think that we should have a sort of bite maybe, or a growl. Growl would be, I could imagine growl being a buff or debuff though. Or a passive even, a bit like how bark works for the tree. Nibble. You think he'd just give you a nibble and not a massive bite? I think he looks like he'd bite your whole arm off. He's very vicious for a little guy. I have to say I like the rabies for the deer, but I just wouldn't know what rabies would do. But we can always consider it. Haunting stare. Stare. Deer in the headlights. No, it's rabbit in the headlights, isn't it? That's what that is. Yeah, something with the antlers for sure. Normal attack could be to do with the antlers. Hey, stop moving. Ah! It's misbehaving. The silly box. Diseased bite, which is a chance to cause confusion, which is what rabies does to you. Oh my goodness. Drunk raccoons. I really love the idea, but I'm just reluctant to add another status effect in the first dungeon of the game. I've kind of promised myself that poison would be the only one. Simply because this is a first dungeon, it's really harsh to go introducing loads of states. Like future dungeons can add those for sure, but we could do something like that, but make it a debuff instead for sure. We could have disease bite and have it do, say, lower either attack, defense, speed or evasion, or some sort of debuff on the player it's done the disease bite too. That would work. So I think debuffs are a little bit kinder than actual status effects. Gonna go for now. I'm getting tired. My head is getting heavy. See you tomorrow, Rose and chat. Akira, take care, and GG for the gunner. I keep wanting to call it gunslinger, but then I realise it's not gunslinger now. It's gunner. So GG for that, and take care. Have an awesome day. I mean, we will be finishing up very soon, guys, but I'd love you to join me in a raid. And before we end, I'd love to clear up these enemies and decide. It would be absolutely fantastic if we got all these finished before the end of the day. Noaria. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I like the name. Have a nice reading on the skill discussion. Yay! Okay, so I do agree. Let's go for a disease bite, but we'll have it do something a little bit different to giving confusion. Thank you, Mila Warrior, for the follow. We have a warrior in our game as well as a class. What is the name of the game? Raindrop Chronicles is our game's name. I'll give you our project command. We also have a Twitter and stuff. So have a peep at all that if you wish. We also have a YouTube. I'm spamming you with all the links now. So anybody that's new, who's curious, those are the links to check out. And we have a website on the way too. I'll spam you with that as well. I don't spam much, but when there's new people in chat or anybody that's curious, I like to make sure everybody knows. Okay, so disease bite, what was the description? So it would work like rabies then. I guess it's imagining what sort of debuff it would give. What's something that could work similar to confusion? Confusion is an absolutely horrible status effect. It's actually my least favourite. I hate getting confusion games, but I agree we definitely should introduce it. But probably in a later dungeon, or yeah, mid-game dungeon maybe. Definitely not the first one. What debuffs have we got so far? We have a debuff, Spore Blast, that lowers players' speed. We have Pollen Puke, which lowers players' accuracy. So those ones are already done. I do like to have different. I don't like to have a recycled skill of another enemy in the same dungeon. I'm sure. Yeah, it can be a debuff. I'm just unsure what debuff it could be. Or it could do something else entirely. It doesn't necessarily have to be a debuff. It could harm the player in another way. But yeah, a status effect could be a bit cruel. I would lower defense or evasion. That one might work actually. Something that lowers defense. Or could you imagine rabies doing that? Lowering defense or evasion, guys? If so, we'll go ahead with one of those. Harm the player emotionally. So I must ask, were you working RPG Maker today? Probably not today. We've been doing a lot of like planning, flow charts and writing up plans the last few streams or so. But this week, probably tomorrow onwards, all going well, we will open RPG Maker and actually start adding these skills that we've planned into the software in the database and doing some battle tests as well. That's likely what tomorrow's stream is going to be, because we've almost come up with the ideas. Now we've just got these two enemies to go. We're very, very close to deciding, and yeah, we still have the 12 first skills for Warrior, Hunter and Vampire to do. So 4 each, which is 12, and they'll need to be done as well. So we'll be doing both. We'll be entering the player's skills and the enemy skills into the database, and yeah, so just the first 12 of the players and all of these of the first enemies. And once we've done that, and once it's all tested and balanced and working good, we can do the first boss of the whole game. Because this is our first dungeon, so that'll be really fun. We don't know who that boss is. It's a big mystery. I'll be putting up a poll. I'll be getting a handful of assets of different enemies we could have as a potential boss, and we'll put up a vote, and you guys will decide which one should be the boss. And that would be awesome. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so disease bite. So lower player. So evasion. Accuracy makes the player miss, but evasion makes the player more easy to not miss, right? Evasion's a weird one, because most of the time the player gets attacked anyway. Maybe we should lower attack then. Or defense. Looking forward to the boss, yay! Should we go for lower player defense? put that for now, but if anybody has any thoughts about something better, because I don't think we've used that particular debuff yet. But it feels like have them made more vulnerable. It makes sense with something like disease bite. It would make them weaker, for sure. Defense is a good option. Yay! Okay, so we need a name for the normal attack, and I feel like it should be to do with antlers. Normal attack that rams into player with antlers. So, yeah, it's just an antler-related name that involves a ram. That's like the only thing I can picture that deer doing in terms of a normal attack. And the third one... Wow, that's a mystery what the third one could be. Because it's likely going to have a friend in battle to another deer, and a lot of these enemies have kind of had a synergy with the others in battle. Some do strong group attacks if there's a few there, and others are actually stronger if the enemies aren't on the field. And yeah, the bees work well with lots of bees as well. They do something where they raise their allies' attack power. So something to consider with the third attack would be if there was another deer in the battle with it. Maybe they'd do something to that deer, or who knows. We could do anything we want to do. It's whatever's most exciting or interesting. Charge. Yeah, we haven't got a charge already, have we? We've got Savage Bite, Mushroom Mash, Needle Storm. So charge could work for sure. We're getting there, we're getting there. I kind of really want this little guy to have something called Growl, but who knows what Growl would do. I'm going to just put it there anyway. Maybe we should have an Earth Elemental damage with this one too, but as a single attack, not an AoE. I don't know. It's really hard thinking with this one, because I don't want him to just be a clone of him. I don't want him to just be a clone with the exact same, just a weaker version. Because I want there to be more of a shock when we come across this enemy and he's super strong. You won't know what to expect. Whereas if you've met this guy before and he's literally just the same, it won't be so much of a shock then when we come across him. Needle Arm. His arms are kind of pointy. Or twiggy arms. We already have an attack called Needle actually on our bees. Needle Storm. So, something related to twigs. I mean, I do believe Kermit mentioned something related to twigs. I'm going to have to check back in chat. But I think something where the normal attack could involve the twigs maybe. Maybe he could just stab you with his arms or grab you with his arms, I don't know. Or he could just bite you. But that's that's the obvious one, a bite. Bark Bite. Oh, we already have Bark here as well. Val's got all the ones we've already got. You must think alike with the rest of the chat, Val. Yeah, and we have Bite as well. I do like to have very different sounding skill names. I do like it though. But just for variety, I can be a fussy one to not have similar names. But maybe Growl wouldn't be an attack, would it? Growl would be just a debuff or something. Well, what I'm going to do, because we're coming towards the end of the stream now, and my mind is going a little bit blank with these two here. I'm going to have a little think over the course of the day. And in fact, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to save this image and put it into Discord. So if you guys want to join the Discord, thank you, 16 Gerard, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. It was a pun. Oh my goodness, I do like the puns, I have to say. If we can think of puns to have as names, I'm always very fond of that. It's just unfortunate Valve already got the similar, the bark and the bite here, but yeah, we'll think of some puns. I'm sure we will. We'll do it. But I will get an image of this saved up, put up into the skills Discord channel. So here's the Discord link. So anybody who maybe wasn't around today can have a say, or if any of you guys here now think of something later when stream's finished, you have the option to say then. Because we're so close now, we're so close. We've done really well with enemy skills today. I didn't actually think we would get this much done with the enemies. And it's a good thing that's sorted. But we're gonna go say hi to someone now, chat. We're gonna see who's online. And I would love you to join me for a raid. So, exclamation mark raid, guys. All you have to do is copy and paste Rose Raid Blood and have an emo of your choice. And now, I'm just deciding who we're going to go say hi to. I'm very hungry. This is why I've got my chocky buttons. Okay, so I'm going to hide my here so I can open up Twitch, see who's online. Thanks for hanging out, guys, today to do a fun stream. Hope you did too. Oh yeah, let's go say hi to Elite. Elite streaming, and he's doing some RPG Maker stuff. I think we haven't raided him for the last few streams, so we'll go say hi to Elite. There we go. Thank you, Cun and Juice. Thank you, Val, for hanging out as well. Hope you all have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye, chat.